frog god?
Listen, this is the most useful site I have ever used in my life.
Whenever people die, do they say that they croak? What's 90 gigabytes?
Oh my god.
Okay, that's
Dragon,
the cold
you're a
open.
monster.
I'm glad that just it's right off the dome as soon as you read it.
I was recording this. We're not live, but I am recording it, so I think I've got our cold open now.
Oh my!
Although I don't think I can beat the Hasta should be allowed to say fuck from the last time that I only used because I super blew all the audio. Hold on, let me go live. Hold on, I gotta do this.
So this is all D&D business.
Are you introducing ourselves again this time?
Yes, but I'm still in the process of setting up the stream.
So clever. This is all D&D.
I am connected to Twitter. You
D&D affiliated.
No. This is independent archival, and they don't just do D&D. They do everything.
Okay. I'm gonna have
They
to
don't
take a
do
look at
D&D, but they do everything else.
I don't know, but having 6 gigabytes of frog god information just kind of allures me in a way that I didn't think I'd ever be allured.
Now, depending on the resolution of those JPEGs, there might not be that much frog information.
No, if you're...
I was gonna say, it's all gonna be images.
What
if they had a video of someone explaining the frog god? I would love that.
You can...
Right. Okay. We are now live.
Okay.
Hello.
So everything you say
hello.
will be heard by an audience of nobody right now.
Well, us, we are the audience.
We're the audience right now. We can chill.
I love giving Wizards of the Coast my money.
We can chill for a couple of minutes.
Anarchy!
I didn't tag the Will at Homestuck Twitter, but if y'all want to share my last Twitter post, that's the link here.
Hell yeah, cool. And also,
it will host on your channel. I did check, and it does work when someone's online on the account because when Dragon was streaming earlier, even though Minty was on the D&D e-girl, it was still showing the channel. So it works as well as I hoped it would, which is awesome.
Didn't a girl?
Networking.
Didn't a girl. I'm super jazzed that they have 91 followers now. That's awesome.
The Frog God Games.
I'm gonna eat loudly into the mic now.
Yay!
That's
delicious.
No.
I'm a professional. Actually, I never claimed to be a professional. All right.
Oh wait.
Yeah, who wants to get their 10,000 hours? Not me.
Hey mom.
10,000 hours
what
of
did you
what?
make?
I've done some of this shit for way more than 10,000 hours.
It was lentils and rice, right?
Or just that.
I think for 10,000 hours, it's have to live.
Right. That's in general. Whenever people.
That's still debatable.
My mom's going vegan, and she's been making vegan meals,
about,
and they are
it's a rule of
really,
thumb.
really good.
Yeah. To be considered a professional,
What did you make for dinner?
10,000 hours.
Curry with
Technically, to be considered a professional in something, you have to
coconut curry
have
with
made
fish and
money
lentils.
doing it.
Darkblades here.
Which is such a stupid definition, but whatever.
There's a. Oh my gosh. There's the Wait, what was this called? There's a cantrip in the Frog God called Pepper's Purpose, and I want to see what Pepper's Purpose does. This looks amazing.
I've expanded Dragon Drop's brain.
You took the peanut
I know, my brain's just that big. You couldn't expand it any farther, but you did. Crazy.
And on top of that, you took the coconut curry with
Your
all
power
Freud
level
is
is
spider.
maximum.
She made peanut soup
Let me just check to
last
see if
month.
this is actually working
And it was-
correctly.
Bum, bum,
Come on, you make me use the keyboard. God damn it.
One creature you can see sneezes loudly unless it makes a successful constitution.
Can we please call it the Genesis
You
frog?
can literally make somebody sneeze on command.
Like,
I am-
right? Or is this still D&D talk?
This is the D&D. You can make somebody sneeze 50 feet away if they fail a con save.
What the hell?
That is awesome.
Does it do anything besides making
Okay,
sneeze?
for some reason
No,
it's
it does
not. It's not actually.
It is a bard, druid, and wizard
Wait a
spell.
minute.
Oh my god, can you imagine a bard being a scammer and being like, all right guys, if anybody sneezes in the next 5 seconds, you're gonna have to give me 50 gold.
can you imagine
it's fine.
Hey, I don't know why, but it's not mirroring on the Will It Homestuck channel right now. Even though it was doing that like yesterday, so that's awesome.
Oh yeah, let me open up this thing so I
You
can give
will
you your,
actually figure this out properly next time. Honest.
We promise. It's not like this is going to be a
Hey, we got
reoccurring
one
thing.
viewer. That's cool.
Kid. But hey, it's not a stream
I
until
am
there's
being
some technical
perceived.
difficulties. Let's all be honest
Seen,
here.
not heard.
It's not a true Will Homestuck stream until there's
Like a
some
child.
technical
There
difficulties.
has to be a technical difficulty or somebody yelling at a family member on mic.
I am
Watch
the
us
one
leave.
that normally fills up that second category.
I blew it last
That's
time.
your niche.
Watch as we fill up an impromptu session of Rose and Mom discourse.
Just do it in character. Mom, I need you to say these lines. Don't ask additional questions. Here's
it's like-
$100. You're getting paid the same rate as Steve Buscemi.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That was good.
with the amount of times I get caught talking to my siblings, someone could probably make like a compilation of all the times I'm screaming.
Yeah,
Because let's be honest, it's almost
completely
every time I'm on voice chat,
Mm.
I end up yelling at my siblings at least once.
I also watch. Okay, we've got a couple people in chat. Oh, Snoozy's
Yeah.
watching, and we got another.
We have artistic. We have the cluster.
All right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I guess we'll start like doing the thing, talking.
Introduction?
Yes. Let's do that. We're super
Can I go first for the
I need to go run
the
Cloud
the Vriska discourse? I mean, like the what? Yeah.
We are not doing that.
May I go? I am gonna Vriska.
You may introduce yourself first if that's what you're
Oh, we're
asking.
still
Go
muted.
ahead.
Yes. Hi everybody. I am the Dragon Drop. As you can see, my Twitter handle is available on the first, second, third, fourth line. The first one, obviously, because you know, as it is. So yeah, that's it. Me, I'm the dragon. I do the drop.
Fleece, you're next on the call list, but if you don't want to say anything because you're not planning to read, that's cool.
Please check out my AO3, which is also Fleece, and read my terrible mom killing fic.
All right, Hosta, you're here.
Yeah.
I know you don't have any socials to promote, but you're here.
You're here.
Yes, I'm
You're
here.
friend
I'm
of the server.
here.
Sophie.
Hi. My name is Hosta.
Yes, do that. Do the intro thing.
Hi. Excuse me. My name is Hosta. I'm one of the youngest of the.
Oh, the audio cut out.
You're cutting out.
Yep. Just
Technical
rolling through it.
difficulties.
You must be this old to continue talking in Discord, apparently.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. You just cut out there.
Sorry, continue. I was outside because
Oh, you were saying?
chickens check it out.
Yes.
Oh,
Introduce yourself again.
No, out, back.
We did it, guys. Got hosted to say fuck.
We did that last time too.
We did it, guys. All right.
Is that just going to be a goal every time?
No.
My name is Host. I'm the youngest of the server.
Yay! And
I
what's
am writing
Wait, who is that?
I'm
Oh,
writing
there's...
a fan fiction called, and it's all out of the fence on the chicken.
Hey,
We're getting like every other syllable host.
FYI,
Yeah.
wherever you are, you're getting bad connection because you're cutting out like every other word.
Maybe you can move closer to the
Yeah, you might want to move closer to
internet source.
good signal.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I guess I can introduce myself in the meantime.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, I'm Sophie. Or not.
Oh, is that a chicken? Is that a whole chicken?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Is that Gamzee the chicken?
Oh my god,
It is
guys!
Gamzee the
Look,
chicken.
it's the chalk.
Hey, baby. Come here. Hey, baby.
Okay, Sophie.
Yeah, Sophie, you might want to talk right now.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
good. I have hosted muted temporarily.
Okay, Sophie, also known as Aslan Sounder on Twitter. I'm from Argentina. I'm a biochemist. I've started reading Homestuck like 2 years ago. I read Homestuck 2 years ago, and been here ever since. It's the first time I'm joining here the live stream.
And a back.
Thanks for coming.
That's
Glad
awesome.
to have you.
Yeah.
I am leaving the chicken pen.
Yay. Do you want to introduce yourself again
How exciting.
with consistent audio, or?
Yes.
Okay, do it.
This
Yeah,
is
go for it.
Take 5. My name is Hosta. I'm the youngest of the server. I'm non-binary, and I'm writing a fanfiction on AO3 called Cloudbound. It is a celestial AU, but it is currently on pause because I'm out of brain juice.
That's fair.
It happens.
It does happen.
Yes.
I'm Alt Universe Wash. My name is John. I write a lot. I think I've got my AO3 on the screen. Yeah, no I don't. I'm the same name on AO3 as I am on Twitter. I have all my crap on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I write a lot of Homestuck fanfic, and I do voice acting and all sorts of random crap in the fandom. And I'm part of the Will at Homestuck Discord. So yeah, cool.
Join Discord.
Cool.
And then I guess there's just us left.
Yeah, Bucky and Clever.
I'm Clever. I'm one of the hosts of the podcast that the server is hosting this Twitch. Or part of the podcast, the server of which is hosting this stream. There we go. I can do sentences. And I'm also a fanfic author, but my big project currently is being drafted in secret, so you can't see it.
Ooh, secret
Okay.
project.
And I'm Bucky. My Twitter is at ThingLikerBucky. My AO3 is at Arachnid's TARDIS. It's not on the screen. I didn't give it to John.
I should probably put that on.
Yeah, I literally didn't give it to you to put there, so it's fine.
No, cool.
But I'm involved with a few projects. I do some voice acting in and around the fandom. I'm one of the co-hosts of Will at Homestuck. I write on AO3 occasionally. That's about all I do for Homestuck fandom and stuff. I also work and cook a lot. I cook a lot.
You cook a lot.
That's because I hate every time I get takeout, like something in the back of my brain that's like was raised to not eat takeout dies a little bit, and then I
eat a lot of takeout. Like that's pretty.
Yeah, my lifespan
is
is 3 years every time I don't have to cook a meal.
I mean, that's fine. I just like cooking.
Yeah, no, I used to, but I do so much other stuff, and I don't have the energy for it. I also have many secret projects that I cannot talk about. I have realized that I have obtained like 5 of them now, and I can't talk about
many
any of
secrets.
them yet. I have many.
John
secrets.
is a true Renaissance day.
Yeah.
I'm 2.
Oh yeah. This is something I'm super proud of. I was very honored to be able to take part in John's podcast, The Alabaster Bible, recently.
Yes.
And I'm going to promo that because it's a really good podcast, regardless of my involvement.
You also
And-
released a card game yesterday.
You did release a card game. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's on the down low though. That's my game designer
okay.
life. That's my other
That's
secret
your
life.
other life. Your other secret. Your
Yeah.
other secret life.
Which is why you posted it in the Will at Homestuck server.
I posted it in the game development channel.
The one that I forgot we had until I saw it light up.
Anyway, I made a card game, and if you can find it on itch.io, good for you. But I'm not going to promo it.
Ooh, secret card game. Or you
It's
could
very
join.
intriguing.
Or you could join the Will at Homestuck Discord.
And
All the
fancy.
secrets.
Yeah.
Dice
We
Box.
always
Yes,
are.
Clever did a really good job with the voice work for Alabaster Bible, which is also on the screen. That's my like gothic horror podcast thing I do, and she did a really awesome job for that. So that was cool. Yeah, and I
It was
really appreciate
really
it.
fun.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm gonna like drop the links to these so that y'all can like put them on your screens, because I remember last time we had a bit of an issue with me trying to stream my screen. Although
Yeah.
I probably won't even bother. I'm gonna drop the links in the chat so y'all can
Cool.
do that. So this is the first one, which is not gonna show me the title, I don't think. Whatever.
Presidents of the Suburbs.
Yeah, Presidents of the Suburbs. Season 4, Episode 8 script. This is actually a decently long one. Let me see what we've got.
Oh yeah, it's Julie's fic.
I'm quickly exceeding the amount of screens I can have.
Does Windows 10 have a 4-way split function?
I mean, probably. I can just like.
Windows
Yeah.
cider, okay.
Okay. Okay, it looks like we have a Jane, we have a Jaspro's sprite squared, we have a June, we have somebody named Martha. We have a narrator, we have a separate male narrator, I guess, because it's like a commercial break thing. This is written just like it's written like a TV script. It's great.
I want to do the narrator. Oh my god! Please.
Which narrator? Do you want to do main narrator, or do you want to do cutaway narrator?
Main narrator.
Yeah, I was gonna say good choice, because there's literally one line for cutaway narrator.
I would very much like to do Jaspros.
You can do Jaspros. Okay, we need a Jane.
I'll do Jane.
You'll do Jane. We need a June.
I'll do June.
We need whoever Martha is.
I can be Martha.
Okay. OC, don't steal. I'll do the one narrator cutaway and over the top voice I can do.
I have a question. Are we gonna do the like the audience laughter and stuff like that? Are we all gonna have to do that together? Oh my god, can we please do that all together?
That's a good idea.
We will do that.
Please.
Oh, that sounds so
I
cursed.
beg for this. This is my serotonin. I need this.
You may request this.
Oh, girl, that's the only question.
Alrighty.
I think Jake is also in this, but he says like one line, or maybe he doesn't talk. I don't remember.
If Jake says something, I'll jump in and do Jake's voice.
Okay.
Which means it'll be whatever voice I pick randomly.
Jake does not. I looked up Jake's at all, and no, there's no. I don't see
no
any
dialogue.
Jake.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Anyway, this is President of the Suburbs, Season 4, Episode 8 script, 1990. Summary: Jane Crocker and Jasper's Sprite Square's hot new sitcom, President of the Suburbs, has taken the basic cable airways by storm. Who wouldn't love the zany family comedy of the first couple as they spar on matters of life, love, and skills in the kitchen? I wish June had more screen time, you say aloud to yourself. Another finger curls on the sinister simian digit juju.
You mean more Jane?
Jane.
You said
I'm
Jane.
sorry. I wish Jane had more screen time. Thank you. All right, take it away, narrator.
Oh, okay, okay. Fade in. Interior: Jane and Jasper's Sprite Squared's kitchen, late afternoon. Jane stands, and Jasper's Sprite Squared floats in front of the spacious semicircular window above their kitchen sink. Plumes of smoke usher from the closed oven, stage left, agitating the pristine flower print curtains. Jane's yellow Jane's yellow dress, covered in front with her signature black flower-covered apron, matches the pastel springtime tone of the wallpaper, and she pitches her head back, face in her hands.
You've done it now, Snookums.
Ooh, lil ol' me.
How did you learn by now that sticking your silly pink nose into the oven before I've finished dinner can only lead to singed whiskers?
If your cooking didn't smell so good, honey bunches, I'd never be tempted. I hope I never learn.
I feel uncomfortable at how sweet they are with each
So
other.
fucking fun.
I have become very uncomfortable with
This-
the energy we have created.
It's
This
so
was the
cloying
right
that I'm like
decision.
trying to figure out if somebody should have stabbed the other person.
Oh my god.
I'm really trying to be as insincere as I can.
You are doing the thing. This is perfect.
The spirit.
I think we have a narrator line.
Yep. They lean together, grinning.
You.
She puts her hands on her hips, smile souring.
They'll be here any minute, though, and I promised I'd have dinner ready by 5.
I wouldn't sweat it, Janie Poo. We can have something whipped up by then, and I'm sure you can just make do with whatever's around. Not that those two could tell your gourmet eats from can of chicken noodle soup.
Jesus Christ!
Now, dearie, when you say that, it makes our dear guests sound like those dirty, awful trolls, always keeping our pies from the windowsill and edging out the human population with their explosive birth rates. Not that I mind, of course.
Wow, and I
Oh,
thought
boy.
Dirk's biopolitics were tinged with fascistic overtones.
The racial implications kill me. I thought this was a 1990
No, not
sitcom,
right.
not a 1960 sitcom. Wait, hold on. Wasn't
1990s.
1990.
yeah, that's what I was saying. What's that? Is it Two Different Worlds? Is that what that sitcom was called?
Something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I don't know.
Prompt studio audience laughter.
Yeah, I think we did that.
There's a knock at the door.
Oh, who could that be?
Martha Stewart enters. Since the current year is 1990, she looks good as ever. Incipient 2004 conviction for insider trading. Not hanging like a pall over her head.
Jesus.
I was not expecting Martha Stewart to be a feature.
Martha Stewart?
Prompt studio audience to wild and glorious applause.
We don't have to can the laughter. This is genuine gold.
What brings you to our little corner of the human kingdom?
Well, Madam President for Life, I just happened to be taking a stroll through your lovely suburb, looking for wildflowers to inspire a spring arrangement, and I couldn't help but smell the pickle urine.
Ha! I bet the fishy smell of burning cat hair in a flaming casserole sent you running.
And thankfully, towards us, not running away.
Oh, Martha laughs.
Wait, 6 in the first name, 7 in the last. Does that mean...
That's right! I'm a troll-human hybrid kid! A stray lawn, to be exact.
Jesus.
Wow, that sort of degeneracy is a mockery of my species.
I feel bad.
Gross.
All right, Jane, turn to the audience.
Martha, I'm glad you're here. That was my dinner up in smoke, and my family will be here any minute. Can you do anything to help with just what's around our kitchen?
Displaying the magazine cover.
Jane, I sure can. Let's see what I can whip up out of one of my new magazine, Martha Stewart Living, the first issue of which will be out next month.
Well, just like Mama Crocker taught me, I always have a box mix handy for...
Martha laughs.
You mean Betty Crocker, right? If I ever meet that bitch, I'll kill her with with her own pitchfork.
Oh, she's already dead.
That's a good thing. I'll have to update the Rolodex. Now, where was I?
Proceeds to teach the girls how to bake double-baked Gruyere chive souffles.
It's me, Martha. You're so talented.
Don't jump up and down just yet, Jane. Your excitement could deflate my lovely souffles.
I bet with your instructions, even Jaspers could make a lovely, complicated dish like this.
Wow, so catty tonight. And I thought you were the straight woman in this marriage.
Ooh.
I was never much a one for cooking. I wish my mama had been nearly so handy with a fork and bowl as yours. Well, yours even killed me with one. And my ex-wife.
She raises a paw to her mouth, speaking aside to the audience.
Remind me to thank her.
Yeah, but your mom sure was good with the...
Jane mimics imbibing with a raised hand. Martha and Jaspros laugh.
Look.
You're sure one to talk, Miss Missy. I've seen your tail sticking out of the bottle of cooking sherry more times than I'd let on. Or than you'd let on.
Sherry is a useful kitchen staple to brighten up sauces for many fish and beef dishes.
Oh, you little sociopath.
Takes one to know one, doesn't it, Butterpaws?
Like you'd know, Little Miss Blaze of Glory suicide mission.
Why, I oughta. And hey, which suicide mission do you even mean?
Does it matter?
Both sigh playfully. They each put a hand under their chin and gaze sidelong at the other, heads tilted.
Mothers-in-law.
This is very amusing.
Ding dong! The doorbell rings and the broad semi-oval, obviously. This is 90s. Semi-oval door swings open.
Well, I'd love to continue this little cat fight, but there's somebody at the door.
Jespero Sprite turns to the door, which is blocking view from the audience.
Well, well, as my four kitties might say, ooh, ooh, what's this?
I'm uncomfortable with the atmosphere we've created in the studio today.
Hi, uncomfortable. June enters. She throws up her hands in excitement, dressed in a simple blue dress, empire waisted, with a white sash. Her hair, down to her shoulders by now, is pinned back with simple squarish barrettes, letting her side-swept bangs frame her blocky glasses and darting blue eyes. Jig is also there. June grins to the audience, then crosses to hug Jane, Jaspero's Sprite in turn.
Grandma and cat, grandma and mom.
Darling, it's so good to see you. Welcome, and come in. I'm so glad you could join us, but you'll have to excuse the mess. I would have dinner ready by now, but somebody here just happened to think it was time to sample my ham and green bean casserole.
Jaspero's Sprite 2 bats a paw, claws extended, and hisses playfully to the audience. Prompt audience to cheer.
Yay! Yeah.
Orts.
Don't blame me for that. It smelled deliciously mousy.
It would have smelled better if you'd let it finish cooking.
She turns back to June and ignores Jake, who is examining the remains of the casserole and silently miming choking.
Luckily, we had a timely run-in with America's favorite cooking instructor and homemaker.
She gestures to Martha, who has donned an apron matching Jane's, retrieved from a hanger on the fridge. Martha waves.
Well, golly.
Gesturing to the soufflés as she covers them with a cloth.
These will be ready after just a short resting time.
Salivating, clearly oblivious.
Gosh, Grandma, did you make those?
With a quick glance at Martha.
Yes, it was me, with no input or assistance from anybody.
Jaspero Sprite 2 puts her hands on her hips and arches an eyebrow. Martha puts a hand to her collarbone as if offended, but laughs along, trading a knowing wink with Jane.
It's really quite funny.
It is actually extremely funny.
Clearly impressed.
Wow, it's funny. We might have had the same dad, but you're always showing up when you Sorry.
Funny how that works now that you have that you have the same dad and yet are each other's grandmothers and the same age too.
We're an abomination of a family, that's for certain.
Exobiology sure is confusing.
And say, ever since you took on that new name, you're more like me than ever. Heck, just one letter away. Isn't that great?
Visibly uncomfortable.
Yeah, great.
She rubs her upper arm. Jake eyeballs the soufflés during the uncomfortable silence. As Jane turns to the audience.
Yes, it's the B-52s.
The B-52s enter, instruments and all.
Give me a sign.
What are the B-52? Where are the B-52s from? Are they American?
I have no idea.
They're British now. Hello, Jane. Glad we could pop by to play the President of Earth, our new hit single, Rome.
Oh, they are. They are
they're
American.
American. No, they're
They are-
not. In this universe, they're British.
Now they're British. They're the Earth. They're the Earth Sea rock.
They're the
walkers who
Beatles
are
in this universe. Listen, I forgot.
They do. The other characters
I
all.
agree. It does
They do.
sound like a small cult.
The other characters all move away from the front of the sound stage. Oh my god! If Homestuck was a play,
Oh,
away from the front of the sound stage, and lights come up on the musicians as well as to light up the cheering audience during the transition. When their song finishes,
We'll be right back after these messages. Folks, are you interested in learning how the Homestuck framework can be applied to many different works of fiction? Well, you should absolutely check out Will It Homestuck. That's at Will It Homestuck on Twitter.com. And now, back to our show.
How long are you planning that?
oh my god!
About 5 minutes.
Incredible.
That was very natural.
Interior Jane and Jasperos writes to kitchen, not chicken, early evening. The oven smoke has subsided, and we see the upended casserole dish in the kitchen trash. Stage right. Martha holds a red gingham cloth, previously covering the 6 ceramic ramekins. A huge, perfect individual souffle, mushrooming over each.
I really do recommend them, with a glass of imported Italian white wine and a main dish of chicken, perhaps in a white sauce or a bechamel.
Ooh, no wine for me, thanks. I'm a recovering alcoholic.
Oh my god.
it would have been better with meow. Meow.
I think that might have been on purpose.
Yeah, that's a fucking awful pun.
It's so much worse.
Martha
The
laughs.
alcoholic.
I can only hear Clever's lines right now, which is great.
Meanwhile, Jane is standing alone, stage right. She sniffles loudly, and the cameras follow Jaspero's sprite as she crosses to Jane, putting her hands on her shoulders from behind. Martha waves to the audience and exits stage left. Pause for applause. Oh my god, I love Martha! She's my favorite person! Ah!
She would never commit crimes.
Woo! Yeah! 2004 never happened, guys!
The rich should be allowed to commit crimes.
As a
I'm
treat.
loving the juice. I'm thrilled for this next line. What's wrong, sweets?
Oh, that was perfect.
Oh,
I'm just sad because now I won't have time to make delicious cookies for any of my family. And if they figure out Martha made those lovely souffles, they'll all think I messed up dinner and had to be shown up on my company's no shortcuts competitor.
Aw, cookie tits. You don't have to be responsible for feeding and mothering the whole world. I'm sure they won't blame you for not being perfect. You're just right for me, my perfect little authoritarian.
That's just it. This is exactly the paradise I always wanted, and I would know because it's shaped my every desire. So why does it feel like I'm just dragging the rest of you along with that cockamamie, rather than just letting myself indulge in any of the good times? And why is my idea... Oh, wait, no. Vince.
We've killed our narrator.
Huh? Wait, what? Huh?
She glances
She
around.
glances around.
Thank you. She glances around.
And why is my ideal life just being somebody's housewife?
Have you considered being less demanding of yourself? You'll live longer if you can learn to go with the flow rather than trying to solve everybody's problems by conforming to their expectations of you. Bet you'd resent them less, too. And who knows, they might even come to enjoy this supernal little game.
Great, now the Stepford cat girl is going to preach to me.
What?
Never mind.
Well, as I was saying, if you buy into the idea that you have to fix the whole world, you'll just end up wanting to burn it down instead.
Next, you'll say I can't be president.
You already are, Muffin.
So, how'd I forget?
Prompt on collector.
This is humorous. I enjoyed this joke a lot.
June joins them,
This
holding
joke
empty
was
ramekin.
very, very amusing.
This is superior comedy.
June joins them, holding an empty ramekin. Jane takes it from her.
Well, Martha's gone home. She said to thank you for giving her those tips, but then she winked at me? I'm confused.
How is the food? Satisfactory, I trust?
Yum, yum. Perfect as always, Gran. Oh, honey.
Sorry. Of course it was. I made it. How could it not be?
How I wish I could learn to bake like you. Even Dad never made anything this good.
At least you're halfway there.
She elbows June, who suddenly takes her meaning.
I wish you wouldn't keep saying things like that.
Hey, we've worked hard to accommodate you. When you decided you were trans and had your third toothectomy... I feel gross saying that.
Yeah. No shit.
I want to.
I'm gonna get shut for this, but what does that mean?
It's... Well,
Okay.
it's transphobic for one.
It's under the same like somebody saying that you chose to be something instead of actually
when you chose to be gay.
right. Like this is just like a fashion choice for you. It's not like an actual you were born this way and that yada yada yada. And the third tooth.
Right.
Okay. That's another thing. I know you, Cat Roast, right? And you never talk like that. Because you're Rose, and Rose wouldn't say anything nearly that awful to me. Declined?
Decided. Hasta.
Yes.
Also, it's James.
It says decided.
Oh! I'm
Jasper.
smart, I swear! I swear!
Don't worry about it.
Jasper's darling, could you please not fight with my ecto-granddaughter on such a lovely domestic evening?
Jane clenches her teeth.
And June, sweetheart, sugar pie, please likewise refrain from making this little get-together into just another pity party that is all about you and everything you wish the universe would hand to you on a demure little silver platter. Trust me, we all feel that way about something or other, but perhaps you'll just let me have one night to savor living in a reality, rather than merely bouncing between them at my whims.
Wow.
Okay.
Eat the rich! Eat the rich!
I didn't know that this fanfic author has been at my family's Thanksgiving.
This is some. I feel like somebody really does not like Jane at all. Oh my god.
Oh,
And this is you doing exactly
That's
what
not
you're
real.
scolding me for? This whole production isn't a pity party?
Now, if anyone but Dirk and myself had any level of competence, I'd be happy to share the spotlight. But as Grandma knows best, perhaps you ought to let me show it off.
Ooh, make fun of my competence all you want, but you forgot somebody. You said the whole family would be here, but where is Jade?
Jade? Jade who?
Transphobia,
the
very
joke.
funny. Hee hee.
Ooh, hoo, hoo. You know who you sound like right now?
Maybe she had the right idea.
She clicks her tongue. A spotlight illuminates her, and June and Jasper's sprite drop back, heads down.
Ooh.
This is exactly why I took control. I knew nobody else could handle it, and so what if I was miserable? After all, maybe the home life with a wife, guest stars, the burnt casseroles, the family dinners. isn't so bad, or at least it's a worthy price to pay for not just being disappointed all the time.
She pulls out a pocket compact from the front of her apron. Oh. Okay, well, Fleece dipped out. She pulls out a pocket compact from the front of her apron, checking her cherry red lipstick, adjusting her bangs, and pushing up her glasses up her nose.
After all, isn't accommodating your every desire just what best friends are for?
She jerks a dismissive thumb towards Jake, frozen in time, wolfing down a second souffle.
I bet you think I mean that, himbo. Luckily, I found I can just ignore him. Best seen, not heard, and why would I tolerate all his eccentricities when I've got her?
There you go. Jane sighs.
It isn't like that. This is a family show, remember? Just feel lucky I didn't reintroduce you to Tavros.
Oh, God. She shakes her head.
Well, I have Roxy to thank for the whole idea. After all, she proved that somebody could still see me as a good person after my meteoric rise to power, so why shouldn't I just take it a mite further? Oh, and Dirk helped, of course. He was more than obliging to figure out how to reverse my Tiara Top's functionality and make it project my mind outward rather than letting another mind in. Didn't protect him, though.
Jane smiles.
He thought collaboration might save him, but it never does it?
She steps back into position with the other two, and the spotlight gives way to full scene lighting again. June steps up to hug her.
Now, I can make it all better. You just have to let me.
Yes, Grandma. Of course, Grandma.
There's a good girl.
Wow. Oh, I didn't expect that level of clarity, Jesus. Jane turns to Jaspro's sprite as the hug ends.
Say it. I know you're thinking it, because I know what everyone is thinking, so just say it.
So long as I don't get chucked down in the rain for it.
Jane crosses her arms, waiting. June begins to stare off into space, seemingly unable to perceive them.
Fine. As an ultimate sprite self, unbounded from the rules of a single and urinary mind necessary for total domination by mind control Niantics, I suppose with all this copious free will I've still got, that I ought to point out that you've changed yourself as much as you've remolded the whole world, and it's not making you any happier.
Of course it isn't, but I had no choice. It was this, or sit around pretending to live an inconsequential mortal life like the rest of our friends.
Were those your only options, though? Mediocrity or world domination?
And hey, why are you still playing along if the mind control hasn't taken you over?
Because I decided I didn't want to see you try again, in case it turned into a twice-baked potato like you've made out the rest of the population of Earthsea. Plus, I get to kiss you, so...
That's it? You just want to see what would happen and you get to bump uglies in the meantime?
Yikes, Ball! We're still on air! And, yeah, I suppose. I have no mouth and I must yowl.
Oh. That's some... Ooh.
This is a piece of fiction.
Is it like
Someone wrote this.
I'm confused whether I should think of that as a power move or like... I don't know. There's so many questions I have. What? Okay, my biggest question is, what crack did the author smoke, and where can I get some?
Please.
The epilogues. They printed it out and then ground it up and then snorted it.
Yeah, they like put on like a piece of paper you can lick it. Oh my god.
Okay.
That's you, Jane.
So what can I do? If I can't fix the flaws that got me into the situation in the first place, will I ever find my way out of it? Worse, must everyone else simply suffer for my inability to trust them if love isn't enough on its own?
I'd hate to suggest something as flippant as a redemption arc, but look at it this way. At least this is an offshoot, right? An unlucky timeline where you never learned to stop living on that pedestal of yours before you did some real damage. But if I can get through to you here, and inside the length of a 22-minute sitcom episode, no less, then there's hope for other versions of you to find your way back to your friends and to relearn their worth before you trail off into fascism permanently.
Thank you, Jaspers. I'm sorry for all this. Thank you for still seeing the good in me.
Now let Junie free, would you? You sure as heck can't untangle this wet hairball of a timeline, but the least you can do is let everyone else live off happily.
Both girls take a deep breath. June abruptly laughs as if remembering the world's best joke. Okay. And Jaspro's Sprite. Jaspro's Flight. Jaspro's Sprite. Thank you. Floats over to Jane exuberantly.
Oh, Janie, I'm sorry for sacrificing the stability and clarity of a simplistic societal narrative for one of conflict between our two material realities. I'm ready to accept you for who you are, warts and all.
Aw, come here, you tentacle-faced abomination who's also my wife.
Yes, Madam President.
They embrace from audience to
Aww.
Now, you come here and give this pretty kitty a little sugar.
She takes Jane's cheeks between her paws and kisses her on the lips. From audience to cheer at the raunchy display, as though they would regardless.
Yay. Cute. Adorable.
Kiss.
And that's our show.
Join us next week when Jane and Jaspros will visit the Harlem Globetrotters, featuring special musical guest LL Cool J.
Then Jake rejoined them to take their bows to a standing ovation from the entire audience. The show's user outro music, a saxophone-heavy vamp, engulfs the cheering. Jane waves the camera as it pulls back to the show, standing crowd and line of players on stage. Fade out.
Oh, that was the best piece we could have possibly started with.
What a bizarre piece of fiction.
They were in, they said what they had to say and got out. Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Wowzers, Bowsers.
I agree with Actpen. This definitely is like reading a small town cult
Yeah.
kind of thing.
My favorite thing is that the tags include studio audience freeform, trans character, and then right after trans character, casual transphobia.
Yeah.
Jane's mommy issues.
Sprinkle that right on top.
Oh, I feel like I need to apologize for some of the shit I said as Jaspros.
I love the comment from the Belmonts, which I think is in response to my impromptu commercial. You motherfucker.
That was fun.
That was
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of fun. And next time I really should read the tags first.
Sophie,
So
did you pick
Yeah,
you picked this for a reason, right?
transphobia has been found in not just this, but a Persona fanfiction, an American Horror Story fanfiction, Life is Strange, and like BTS.
Persona has transphobia like baked into the source
Okay,
work, so.
question. What were they talking about with the Jade thing? Because I did not get that.
Jade gets sidelined hardcore
Yeah.
and like for a lot of Homestuck, but also particularly in the epilogues, and I think that's
Yeah.
they were saying
Jade's
you sound
not part of the
all
family.
quiet.
Yeah, this was written by somebody that liked the epilogues as much as I did.
You could also say that Jane doesn't. They don't like the epilogues. Also, Jane.
Yeah, well, it's complicated, but
Jade is saying that Jane is not a part of the family at all.
That was very entertaining.
It was.
Oh my
It-
god, that was great. Wait,
That
I'm
was-
sorry, Sophie.
Something.
Did you write this, or are you just commenting?
no,
on it?
a friend of
A friend
mine.
of yours wrote it. Okay,
A
cool.
friend
That
of-
is-
yeah.
Right?
That was really good.
That was like eating a sour lemon. Like I like the
Yeah.
taste, but like it just
It's like
leaves
no. It's like eating those sour penny warheads.
No, AK Pen. It's not a Persona fanfic. We're just saying that there is transphobia in some Persona fanfic.
and homophobia, but you know,
And all kinds of bad things.
Like
Yeah,
if you
it's-
go to the top of the fic and you click the tag casual transphobia.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bing bang boom.
Yeah.
Yep, it's good stuff.
Bing.
And by that I mean bad stuff. Okay, the next one I have on my list.
before we move on, I just wanted to mention that there's a Jane Jaspros jam that's going on right now that is in this very fic linked. And it's just like an open invitation for people to make more things for that ship because there's very little.
Hell
fake for it.
yeah.
Jaspros is an underutilized character for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of potential there. So
Are we reading?
We're reading. Okay, so I just sent a link to the next fic, which is the Danganronpa 2 alternate final battle, by Yeah.
Taiko Yasuhiro.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm gonna grab a link to the Will at Homestuck Discord because. Oh, you got it. Okay, cool.
Taiko.
Join the crack.
Join
the crack party. We're all on crack here. Don't worry.
Join
That's not
one of us. One of
One
us.
of us. Yeah.
I'm staunchly anti-drug war and anti
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the brutality of black people
So
and
now,
the rape.
I know that y'all aren't seeing my screen because I'm just sharing it with the stream, but for some reason this decided to show up as the ad, and I don't know who they think they're marketing to, but it is not me.
I see it. Listen. I know two people who would never, they would never be able to repay me if I bought them one of these shirts. I know people like this.
Is it just because it looks paper thin?
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be worn unbuttoned with something underneath.
I would never wear that in my entire life.
But I know a lot of transmasculine people who would.
That's fair. Okay, so this one is... these are very, kind of freeform, almost narrator. They're almost all narrator without a lot of voice parts. So I'd say we just pick 2 people to read each of the 2 chapters.
I want to go first.
Okay, cool. Who wants to go second?
What is it?
It's
a
Danganronpa fic, but they're very freeform. So I figure we just have 2 people read the 2 chapters.
Okay.
You want to read the second one?
Okay, I can read it.
All right. Okay, so this is Danganronpa 2, alternate final battle. What if Junko was so strong 2 characters had to merge? This is rated T, English language, Hajime H, Makoto N, Fuyuhiko K, Peko P. 2 chapters, 400 words, roughly. All right, Dragon, take it away.
Junko, right before showing up, angrily said to herself, I'm supposed to do this?
Just do the whole chapter. It's they work better like that. Yeah.
Junko, right before showing up, angrily said to herself, "Air potion to make myself invincible. Vocal cords of Maizono, biceps of Kawada, quadriceps of Ikusaba, brain of Fujisaki, triceps of Owada, Shimaru, brain of Lunenburg, brain of Yamada, strength of Ogami, heart of Ultimate Imposter, tongue of Hanamura, heart of Koizumi, heart of Pekayama, eardrum of Myota, Severed Zuryu, body knowledge of Mikan, Sigi Chip of Mechamaru, Mekamaru, courage of Tanaka, and the brains of Komeda and Nanami.
Beautiful.
That's all.
What
Knowing-
the
Oh my god.
Knowing nothing about Danganronpa, this is like the most fucked up version of Shazam.
These are great. They're so fun to read.
Activate.
I have no Danganronpa 1 from beginning to end, but Danganronpa 2 is still vague to me. But I still know this is...
It's very over the top. Read it really over the top. You're doing great.
This person is in our Discord now. We can ping them.
Yeah, they did join, didn't they?
They haven't put anything in the introduction other than hello. I'll just ping them there since they don't have access to any of the other channels in our Discord server since they didn't give us their pronouns, which is an important part of gaining access to our Discord server. Yeah. Hey, join our Discord
server, everybody.
Join our Discord server.
And fill out your pronoun roles. All right, anyway.
Junko then drank the concoction and immediately turned into an amalgamation of all the characters' powers. She then addressed the party.
Here, sorry for the delay. I was getting busy with the powers of your friends. Makoto showed up and said, Hajime, there's only one way to beat Junko in this form. Hajime nodded. Makoto then shouted, Phew! Hajime repeated, Phew! And they both said, Jun! Ha! It worked. The new form started.
I'm neither Hajime nor Makoto. I'm Hajimoto Hanaiki. I'm the one who will defeat you. Will Hajimoto be enough to defeat Junko? Find out in the finale of this 2-part final battle.
Oh my god, you just turned into Pro ZD for a minute there, and that was wonderful.
That was great.
Vince, do you have any aspirations to do voice acting?
You really should do it.
At your ass, I do.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh my god, that was great. Anyway,
You're
chapter
incredible,
2.
my guy.
Thank you. Blessed. Please,
very good.
feed my ego, please. I need this.
Okay, how can I go after that? Okay.
Yeah, do your best.
Whatever way that you do it is going to be amazing, and you should not compare yourself to
Everyone
others.
is
It's going to be great no matter what.
different.
You're going to do a good
Okay.
job, I know.
Go for it.
After several failed attempts to land a hit on the new Hajimoto Hina Egi, Junko is getting frustrated. She snapped, "Why can't I hit you?" Hajimoto chuckled. "Because our combined hope is stronger than our despair. There's only one thing left undone. Ultimate Reserve Hope Shot." Junko was lucky enough to tank it. Hajimoto cockily snarked, "That was pretty impressive feat, but one more blast like that and you're finished, and you know it, Junko." Before they fire the second Ultimate Reserve Hope Shot, they unfuse. Meanwhile, in the afterlife, Sayaka's spirit concernedly panicked. Leon, Chihiro, Mondo, Taka, Hifumi, Celeste, Mukuro, Sakura, Ultimate Imposter, Teru, Mahiro, oh my god, this is a really long list, Peko, Ibuki, Hiyoko, Mika, Nekomaru, Gundam, Nagito, Chiaki. Unless we do something fast, Makoto and Hajime will be killed by the new Junko. Makoto. So they decide to give them their spirit energy. For a secret technique called the Danganronpa Hope Energy Ball. After
Sorry.
receiving the energy,
It is.
It's a
Spirit
ball.
bomb! Lend me your energy!
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much crossover is there between Danganronpa and Dragon Ball Z? I know neither of these franchises.
In this
None at all.
specific, like,
None at all.
100%.
Everything is Dragon Ball at this point. But no.
yeah.
No, usually not. It's just teenage death. That's all it is at in standard issue.
You know, valid.
Oh, I'm not gonna.
I don't know. I just got the fusion thing, but I'm not that familiar with Dragon Ball, so okay. Hajime makes the following comment. "I knew Chiaki and Mahiru had a lot of positive energy, but the hole from Sayaka is huge. So they throw it at Junko. Okay, no punctuation. So they throw it at Junko. She dies for good this time. And Hajime and Makoto end up with Akane and Kyoko, respectively. The end."
Nice.
This is
What
wow.
That's
Okay.
you two have done a better job with this person's fix than Bucky and I ever have, and we thank you.
You have to. I read one of them on one of my streams. They're really fun if you read them like as over the top as you possibly can.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's what we tried to do.
Did y'all read this before? Can I please?
I am begging you.
Please.
Please let me be Nepeta.
For the next one, yeah. I call Kanaya.
Hasta, when and how and what god did you like worship in order to get better quality? Oh my god. Your call qualities went up like 10,000. I'm so
Yeah, you're
surprised.
Okay.
I was using my Bluetooth headphones, but now I'm using wire headphones.
Real quick, John, can you drop the link in the text
yeah,
chat?
that would be helpful, wouldn't it?
I get to kill the
Thank you.
Vriska's mom. This is awesome.
There you go.
Ooh, murder!
Almost
I
exactly.
knew that was going to happen.
Ooh.
At the
Okay,
same time?
so we've
Murder.
got Hosta's
What a title.
Nepeta. We've got
I'm Nepeta. Nepeta.
Nepeta, whatever.
I wanna.
What child?
Is this? Oh,
There's
Sausage!
There's a narrator.
I want to be Equius.
You can.
Oh, I was
Okay.
going to do Equius. Okay.
God damn it.
No. I can do the Equius.
All of us want to be Equius. This is like, you
I
know.
don't want to be Equius.
Who wants to be Who wants Equius? Nobody.
Has anyone yet taken
Nepeta does.
Vriska?
No one has taken Brisky yet.
Okay, I'll do Vriska.
There is also Terezi.
All right. Or if Terezi's not taken,
No, the only ones taken are Equius, Kanaya, and Nepeta.
okay. I'll do Terezi over Vriska, but if anyone wants Terezi, I'll pass that.
If you want to do both of them, they're not in the same part of the fic, and they both don't have a ton of lines.
This is my weekly plug to remind you that Equius and Vriska are friends. That's it.
They are friends.
They are. And they-
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll do both. All right.
Okay, who wants to do the narrator?
I can do
sounds like
narrator.
You're the narrator. Cool. Then I think we're good. Okay, cool. This is technically not a matricide by Fleece, who is a member of our Will It Homestuck community. She's written a number of fanfics, which are quite good. This one is ongoing. It is, we're up to 9 chapters, 11,000 words, and being released periodically. I think she just dropped 2 chapters like 3 or 4 days ago. So tags here are minor character death, canon typical violence, blood and gore, drug abuse, major character injury, animal death, pale romance, more allegiance. Summary: Nepeta kills Vriska's mom.
Yeah.
Chapter 1, a non-violent chapter, but for the animal death. Okay, take it away, narrator.
Okay. You don't feel like you have to be embarrassed by the fact that when you first met Terezi, it was with one of her nooses around your neck. After all, you still knocked her on her ass. You think the embarrassing part is that you didn't recognize it as a weapon, and curiosity killed the cat, and then the troll did break its back. All of her other traps were easy enough to suss out. You're a hunter after all. She covered the pitfalls with leaves and dirt, but didn't settle the layers properly, and the deadfalls were just too obvious. Those would only work on beasts and lucii. You'd consider using them around your hive, but your claws were too much fun. You like the action. Luckily, you managed to wedge your hands into the loop before it closed entirely. Unluckily, you were still dangling several feet in the air, completely incapacitated. Diplomacy was the best option in this situation.
I'm sorry I kicked you. I hope it didn't hurt too much. Could you get me down? I won't hurt you.
This is
that's
Terezi.
Terezi.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I might kill you, intruder.
This threat would probably have meant more to you if it wasn't muffled by a mouthful of dirt. Her face was blooming teal on one side. You got her good.
You can try. But it'll leave you disabled, and your traps can't save you from all the enemies to come.
She spat. Is this Terezi?
It's Nepeta, I believe.
Oh, I'll
Oh, yeah.
share my kill with you?
She looked at you consideringly, one eye swelling shut. After she cut you down, not gently, you thanked her and then bounded off on all fours to your felled antler beast a few hundred meters away. She caught up in a short time. By then, you'd finished taking the guts out and you were working on propping it up to facilitate blood drainage.
That's what you'd want to share?
She said, her snickering at your gait ramping up to a shriek. You tilted her head. She pretended to understand, only you really didn't understand.
Yes.
You looked at the carcass.
It's poorly dressed. It won't poison you or anything.
The teal blood's eyes aim everywhere but the carcass.
What's wrong with Grubloaf?
I don't get the regular delivery drones.
You say slowly, ready to drop into a crouch. Her look becomes a...
Interesting.
She says. You sniffed. Mom was nearby, so you kept talking.
What I thought was interesting was that big white egg.
You said. Her legs bent a little and her fingers flexed.
Oh?
She says, tone still casual.
It's interesting
You repeat.
that we are both mysterious trolls in the forest, possibly each with secrets.
You lick at your fingertips, cleaning off some of the blood. She laughs.
I wouldn't want to pry. Now that our threats are over, perhaps we can become acquainted.
Perhaps.
You correct her, but smile.
I'm the peddler John.
Terezi Pyrope.
You were friends after that, always playing and laughing and messy with Forrest Duff. That is, Vriska Circuit. You never told her about the disastrous log you had from when you tried to roleplay with her. It was mistimed after one of her first feedings.
If you don't flarp, you're a stupid loser. What's the point if you're not going to destroy anything?
AC licks her paws and cleans the sides of her face. Well, isn't a story good too?
How's this for a story? AG shakes her sword of power and kills AC, then skins her, then wears her as a cape.
You flinch from your tablet, but remembered you're a brave kitty, and that you squish spiders all the time.
That's adorable. AC's flayed flesh body rises from the ground and shambles over to the dead pirate, and takes her skin back. It keeps her insides wet.
You're dead, stupid.
No, I'm a zombie. That's different.
I mean that you're dead because I'm going to kill you.
You grimace and close the window. At that point, you are even, honestly, still a little scared of Aqueous, who demonstrated from the start that he would always be careful with you. So this hostility, well, why bother if it's not fun? Sweeps come and go. Teresi is less fun now, but you're growing up. You worry about her a lot. You're also spending less time together. Aqueous needs reining in, always, and Teresi is always studying or role-playing, mostly with Vriska. Your ring of friends is a little harbor against standard murder count of planet-bound trolls, but Vriska's flarping is probably single-handedly making up for that. Personally, you've killed a troll or 2 or 10. The forest is dangerous, but she's held to a different standard than you are. It certainly doesn't help that a couple of your friends are obsessed with her, and your moral lives on the next cliffside over.
Vriska once again chastised me for meddling in her business, as she calls it, but I can't help but be concerned over her behavior, while at the same time I wish for her to let me in rather than push me away.
Doesn't she have a point? You could court her if you're worrying over everything she does anyways.
Excuse me, I guess I forgot who I was talking to for a second there. I suppose any advice you would have would tend towards ships.
It's just a sort of tending conversation, don't you think?
In hindsight, it indeed is. Only I do not wish to be shipped with her.
I think you do. I just thought of the wrong quadrant, didn't I?
Goodness, the moons are coming over the horizon. I did not realize how late it was getting. I ought to be getting to sleep soon, and you are up quite early now that I think about it.
I'd like to check my tablet before I go hunt, and you are perfectly transparent, Miss Miriam.
I am completely opaque in every aspect, unless, of course, my outfit is incorporating some mesh, or tulle, or organza.
How the heck do I...
Cat sound. Yeah.
Brad, that was it.
I don't know.
That's good.
She's beginning to go too far. I understand that her Lucis is demanding, but some trolls I'm feeling hesitant over sentencing. And I'm not supposed to be in any way guilty in any scenario, flarp or not.
Hesitant? That's weird for you. Though you don't know what it's like to have a Lucis, really. Sorry, that sounded mean. I just meant that even my mom can be hard to take care of, and I don't have to kill anyone to feed her. Though if she needed me to, I would. Because she's the cutest, fluffiest, and best Lucis there is on the planet.
No, you're right. And adorable. Why did you apologize?
No reason whatsoever.
My foolish neighbor's cacophony reigns over the mountains once more. She has taken to shouting her latest flarp plans out of her windows in my hive's direction. As if I have any interest in the game for rubes and Russ. And such borousness would be inexcusable even if I were.
That sounds pretty annoying.
Especially as she keeps detailing every aspect of her clouding strategy and involves a lot of underhandedness.
I should probably warn Torfus about this then.
Tafaros.
It doesn't do any good.
Oh my god, that was fun. Oh, God damn it.
Tafaros.
I hear you guys over there chuckling as I'm trying
Your
to.
Aqueous is good.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's like
Awesome.
exactly how I imagine Equius. That's incredible.
Absolutely.
It's like that, or it's like your teeth are constantly like this, so you sound constantly angry.
Yeah.
You're kind of low like this all the time. But
You've got to get your mouth into a position that might break your teeth. Is
right.
Oh my
All the
god.
time. You speak like you're about to clench your jaw and break it.
I'm really
Uh,
into Equius truly believes that when you type in all caps, you do need to shout it. If
Yeah.
you're saying
Yes.
Also, every
that
time that he says
is
strong, that's what I always do.
Yeah.
I try to bust out as hard of a strong as possible.
Guys,
Please,
fancast
Please,
for
I'm
the Will
so
and
glad
Rose.
you like my Nepeta.
Absolutely adore your Nepeta as much as it sounds like a
That
female.
was
really
very
you know how it
good.
is.
You did an
Yeah.
awesome job.
Fancast for the Homestuck anime. The guy who voices Alex Louis Armstrong.
Can I hit you
Oh.
with the guy who voices the male pussycat hero from My Hero Academia?
I like
That
I like the guy
Never
from
watched it.
Film Alchemist.
The guy who voices
Scar.
Deku voiced the Signless
Oh,
in his
Scar.
speech.
Oh my god. Wait, Vince.
Yeah,
Scar is an indigo blood, isn't he?
yeah. He's
He's
super
just,
strong. He loves destruction.
Quite brooding. Yeah. Wow.
He a la Darklear deals with moral conflict over killing a bunch of
Mhm.
people in the service of the war.
Okay, we have the
Also,
Full Metal
like,
Alchemist episode planned. We can't do this.
He's
No,
super
hang on, let me
strong.
call the spreadsheet.
Can
Look
I
at
be
the things
Rose?
that we have for Full Metal Alchemist?
Whoever just said that, yes.
Full
Yeah.
Metal Alchemist.
I call Kanaya again. We've also got a Porum, so if someone else could
Wait,
do
how's
her.
Hey, Alex,
Who's the guy who
Project?
gets taken over by Pride? What's the character's name? He's the Asian guy.
He gets taken over by greed. It's Ling.
Greed.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
drop the
Ling.
link to
Yeah,
this.
Ling is Dave.
Yeah, Link.
I'm very happy that point for Nepeta voice
You're
and
not,
for fairy voice,
yeah.
and I don't want to change that for the world. It's hilarious.
Hey, I need a Porum that's not me because otherwise it's gonna sound just like Kanaya.
I can be for him.
Okay.
Oh, I want to do Card Cat. Can I do Card Cat?
Sure.
Sure.
If Rose is not taken, I would love to do it because I love doing
I
Love Letters
Rose.
Rose. Okay.
We've got a
I'm Rose.
Okay.
All right.
I'm all the way down
And
there.
I think we're good. There is no narrator. Well, there kind of is a narrator. There is a narrator because there's like
good
Buster Laws.
heavens!
Is this more of? Oh my God! This is the Rose Kanaya one,
Yes.
right? Where she
Yeah,
leaves
yeah,
the.
yeah.
Oh
This
Oh,
is
God,
this is the lesbian pining fic. Yes, that's correct.
oh my God! It's. Okay. All right.
Anyhow.
Okay, whoever wanted to be Rose, be ready to tag in.
Okay.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, these are long. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Love Letters in Digital Ink. This is chapter 6. If anyone in the chat is unfamiliar with this, this is I believe it's a Homestuck AU.
This was the one where I had to tag out because of explicit content.
That as well. I don't think this one has any though. Not this chapter anyway. It is a Homestuck AU where Rose is neighbors with Kanaya and her sister Porum. Rose's sister is Roxy. And
It's adorable.
Rose is pining over Kanaya and etc. She has like a blog. They both are basically like on Tumblr or LiveJournal or whatever the hell was contemporary to when this was written. Open diary. How much can I date myself here? Anyway, so we've got alternate universe, no Spurb or Scrub sessions, POV Rose Lalonde, blog format, teen romance, Rose is a mess and I love her, the dreaded first-person POV, no wait, don't leave, trust me, I got this. And it is quite good. Quick warning, this chapter contains a casual, although non-explicit description of depression and explicit descriptions of past alcoholism. If that's not for you, read the chat between Kanaya and Rose with particular care. There are clear indications of what's to come when they start talking about it, and it more or less ends when Rose begins her blog entry. Would someone like to read the short, like, pestalog thingy-dingies?
I will tag in for those.
Yeah, go for it.
Grim Auxiliatrix began pestering Gothic Astrator at 12:32 p.m.
So, Roxy, huh?
You can shut the hell up. You read the post, didn't you?
I am an innocent bystander in all of this.
God damn it.
Well,
Well, what?
was it good?
Yes.
Gothic Ass Trader blocked Grim Auxiliatrix.
That's what I thought. Carcat,
I know I read the post. It was more than I ever wanted to know about your sister. Or you, in all honesty. But that's fine. I'm fine. This is fine.
really?
Okay. Would it be nice if I didn't have to listen to ludicrously explicit tales of your sister's sexual conquests? Yes. Would it be absolutely lovely if I didn't have to think about what you and your sister does in the bedroom? You know, it really fluffing would be. To person generally, if I weren't forced to witness the ingratiating detail with which Lalonde chooses to describe every fluffing thing about you. It's a fluffing absolutely. In fact, happier than to produce a time sole purpose of bleaching my eyes before I had to bear witness to, what was it, the 8th occasion of Lalonde paying disgustingly sappy home best friend's face. But you know, it's fine.
Oh, I am your best friend.
That's what you took away from this.
It seemed the most important piece of information.
Yeah.
You're cutting out. Hello?
Hello.
Hi?
Yeah, you cut out there.
Oh, which is all the more reason I shouldn't have to read about your face and how much Rose would like to kiss it.
Where did she say that? Also, for the record, you are my best friend too. I wanted to establish that before we strayed any further off topic and forever lost the opportunity.
Heavens, I love this Kanaya.
Thank you, Gall. Glad to know you have some basic fluffing manners. Also, no! Rose didn't explicitly say she wanted to kiss your face, but if you're really so inept at subtextual reading that you can't acknowledge the basic truth presented in between the lines of every single blog post, I'm revoking your right to read anything ever. You ready there, John?
You cut
Yep,
off.
you keep cutting out, so I have no idea where you are.
I think it's my energy is a little bit too much.
you're popping out your mic here.
For someone who's okay, I'll start with the also no, if that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Also, no. Rose didn't explicitly say she wanted to kiss your face, but if you're really so inept at textual reading that you can't acknowledge the basic truth presented in between the lines of every single blog post, I'm revoking your right to read anything ever again. For someone who spent 3 days locked away writing a 12-page MLA-sourced meta about how the female vampires in Sunrise are in a loving sapphic relationship, you are ridiculously inept at interpreting actual context clues.
That is absolutely something Kanaya would do, and I am here for it.
You're acting like Rose hasn't been dropping hints like a shit DJ drops the bass frequently,
Like Dave?
and with some.
Like Dave?
Absolutely. Frequently, and with such ineptitude that it's incredible anyone still wants to bang them.
Oh,
Again,
So-
Dave!
she did not explicitly then.
Times like these that I regret talking in caps because it robs me of the opportunity to verge into capitals when I'm feeling particularly freaking infuriated. Rest assured-
Alternate between caps and lowercase.
Okay,
That does the
Gimsy.
job.
Okay, Gimsy. Rest assured.
Someone kinned me with Gamzee.
Oh, bless your heart. Bless your heart.
I'm sorry.
Rest assured that if I use lowercase text, now would be one of those times when I assume my normal speech pattern.
But you are always feeling particularly freaking infuriated.
I need Kanaya to say the F word. Please, I am begging you.
I'm good. I'm covered in sweat because of how furious and incensed Carket is. But we're vibing. The graph of my rage is a fluctuating series of diverse shapes. Don't simplify my emotional range.
You are right. I am sorry.
That's okay. Is there any reason you messaged me other than to talk about your crush?
Can't a girl talk to her friends without an ulterior motive nowadays?
Sure she can. Can you?
I don't even understand what that's supposed to mean. I am a perfectly innocent person who neither seeks advice nor attempts to solicit generosity from her Biffsy.
See, Biffsy?
Best friend forever, see?
I don't have a fluffing clue what you're talking about. But the first part is kind of sweet, so I'll allow it.
Good. Interesting question for you now that that is all settled.
I knew it.
Please, I do not have anyone else to ask. Porim blocked me.
What the fluff? Why?
I asked her about things.
You didn't. You did not ask her after reading a blog post that pretty explicitly forbade you from reading it about her thing with Roxy. I refuse to believe that you, the self-proclaimed bastion of tact and simple civility, actually came out and asked her about it.
We all make mistakes. I am no different.
Imagine Carcat holding his chin with his hand and tapping his nose with like a very angry look on his face. Is what I'm doing right now. Well, sure, but you're not exactly prone to that kind of fluffery. Your mess ups usually come from saying too little, not too much. Sorry if that comes off as harsh.
Although you are right, I will take a moment to be wounded by your candor before acknowledging your correctness.
Do we need to do? It was only a soft block though, right? She'll unblock you soon.
I don't know. She does this sometimes. It is invariably frustrating.
Well, whatever. She can fluff off. You didn't do anything wrong. Being curious isn't a crime. She should have known better than to fluff a blogger's sister. I guess. Apparently.
Indeed. But anyway, as regards to my question.
Yeah, sure, shoot.
As I said, it is one of a romantic nature. And it has to do with, well, you know who.
I swear to the Lord above, if I had the chance to scream at the top of my lungs, I would be doing that right now. I'm holding myself
yourself.
back.
I dare you.
No. I'm saying through this, I would scream at the top of my lungs, but I cannot because my microphone would cap. Okay, but if there was no cap,
Please scream so loud the microphone caps. I would love to bear witness to that.
Well,
you don't want to hear peaking.
It's just gonna peak and then it's gonna cut out. That's the problem.
It's gonna be like, and then silence.
And then silence, right?
But that makes it funnier because you know what's going on.
It happened twice, and it wasn't funny both times.
It just breaks the flow because then we've got to get everything back on track.
All right, hold on. Let me just. Whew. Okay. I
have never once before wanted to slap Kanaya. I have now broken that streak.
I can't believe it. She disclosed your name online, publicly, to thousands, and you can't even bear to mention her in a private chat. Fluffing incredible!
Carcat, please. I am trying to forge a serious inquiry.
Sure, sorry. Go ahead and ask.
If one was looking to woo a girl, perhaps in the language of flowers or clothes, or anything domestic really, and looking to invest in such overtures as can be communicated over the course of one evening, how might one start?
Kanaya, on the other hand, I know the answer to a fluffing T. On the other hand, I'm incredibly perplexed. So why in the name of God would you ask me, the person with the least dating experience of anybody you know, this question?
You've dated a girl. It was moderately successful.
Moderately successful? Moderately fluffing successful! She broke up with me after 2 months!
2 months of what I expect was loving bliss.
Tracy didn't go for stuff like that! The most romantic thing we ever did together was eat ice cream from the carton and watch Die Hard series on the couch!
The distinction between theory and praxis is inessential to one who has experience with neither. Please help.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Given the circumstances, what are you trying to communicate?
I think her face is cute, and I would not be adverse to kissing it sometimes.
Kanaya is a disaster lesbian, and I'm here for it.
Whoa! Comment with the obscenity, Miriam. I don't need to hear that stuff.
Apologies.
Forgiven. Here's what you're going to need.
So here's the thing. In Chapter 3, Clematis clearly demonstrates an ambivalence towards the practices of Zazupan as a person. It is only towards the society that Zazupan inhabits that Clematis bears any ill will, and furthermore, the last chess game's clear moral ambiguity seems to indicate the authorial stances on Clematis' equal obligations are more or less neutral. Furthermore, the encounter is charged with tension that is hard to ignore. We are supposed to regard Zazupan as a protagonist, but at the same time, his shortcomings are presented factually, and the narrative presents no inclination, at least on his behalf, to remedy them. What do you think?
This is the first time you have messaged me in 17 hours. Is this how you start all your conversations, Rose? Shoot, I mean, Miss Therapist.
Answer the question, Miss Auxiliatrix. The sanctity of our friendship may depend on it.
Oh man, I think overall, Calmasis probably was right to be angry, as they were, but they did not have the right to cut off contact from the learned entirely, nor did they have the right to hurt Friglish as they did. So, although they are a fascinating anti-hero, and one that I enjoy as a character, I do not particularly think that they and Zazarpan are as similar as you believe. Sorry.
A fair judgment, but you have to consider, there's some pretty damn good fan art depicting otherwise.
Send me the link.
I'll find it later. You scrolled up and lost a place. Really, this conversation was a facade to entrap you in the conversation without appeal to small talk I might have had to engage otherwise.
Clever of you.
Did it work?
Maybe. I may participate in some small talk to punish your eagerness, but otherwise, I think yours was a successful maneuver. Ha ha. I'm sorry, did that come across as arrogant?
You know more than virtually everything I say, so I did a tongue roll. I did a pedal for too long. No more than virtually everything I say. Virtually everything I say, so you needn't to worry. Although I have to say I am impressed in the depth of your analysis. You must have for some time before I asked you to give such a detailed reply so quickly. Am I right?
Yes. Complacency is something near and dear to me, which has been an important part of my life for a long time.
Oh, do tell.
It's rather personal.
That's you.
Rose?
No, that's you. You have to say that is okay.
Oh, I didn't hear anything. She cut out for a minute, or they cut out for a minute.
Oh, sorry.
That is okay. I am all right with telling you. I merely wanted to let you know in case you were not looking to talk about matters as serious as those that complacency involves for me.
If you're okay with telling me, I would like to hear. If it helps, I can disclose something similarly intimate in return.
That should work.
Because it's hard to get into Nepeta voice and it's hard to get out of Nepeta voice. And Nepeta voice and Rose voice have very similar speaking things, so I actually get...
That should work. All right. So, it was about 2 years ago, before I moved to my current location, so I was with a different group of people. They were not necessarily good people. I was in an especially unhealthy relationship with a girl about my age, with whom I should not have so readily engaged. It was not her fault either, seeing as I had expectations of her which were unfair, given her specific circumstances and my own delusions regarding her capabilities and reciprocated feelings. But it was unhealthy nonetheless. And her group of friends was also not a beneficial place for me. I do not think it would have been beneficial to anybody, come to think of it. So, anyway, I descended to a very poor state of mental health, which involved a variety of unpleasant diagnoses. And it did not go away so much as I managed to beat it back with the help of my sister and a very good therapist, supplemented by finding things which genuinely made me happy. as you know, your blog was one of them. Another was complacency. I saw myself in the character Friglish a lot. As a person who struggled with communications despite an immense body of knowledge and an intense desire to be helpful, forced into silence by circumstances outside of his control, and perpetually in awe of a wizard far greater and more intelligent than he will ever be. Zazarpan, I mean. When things got rough, or I suppose more specifically, when I had an episode, my sister would sit down and make me watch the movie series with her, until I was no longer preoccupied with my own state, but rather that of fictional characters whose problems are much easier to deal with. So, yeah, Rose.
Wow. Sorry, I didn't make light of your experiences. I am abashed. Uncharacteristic as it is for me to admit this, I didn't expect you to be so forthcoming. I'm flattered by your honesty and feeling somewhat embarrassed that I dragged it out of you.
With all due respect, you did not drag anything out of me. I am capable of choosing to disclose and withhold my own secrets, thank you.
I want to give Kanaya a hug.
Although your questioning was the provocation for my disclosure, it was not the only motivation, nor was the information provided involuntarily. My main motivation was that I find you to be a trustworthy and intelligent person with whom I would like to maintain a closer connection. And closer connections are fueled by knowledge of each other's pasts, the struggles each other has faced, the triumphs of which each is proud. Of course...
It's one hell of a close connection.
I will not urge you...
You cut out. You cut out.
Of course, I will not...
Closer connections.
I will not urge you to share any of these with me at a pace which is uncomfortable. But to perhaps enlighten me as to your own struggles and triumphs, and when you choose, as I just have.
Right. It was not my intention to disenfranchise your autonomy.
Rose, pardon my language, but for Christ's sakes, you do not have a gosh darn thing to apologize for.
Whoa. You kiss your mother with that mouth?
My mother was
Channeling Dave here.
My mother was the one who taught me how to swear. Is that how you do it? Was that the proper usage for the emoticon?
More or less. I suppose it's my turn now.
As I said, this should not be an obligatory thing. I am happy to keep talking about complacency of the learned if you are not looking to go deep tonight. Oh, for fuck's sake.
I am screenshotting.
Hey, can I say the F word? Can I say the F word? Bruh,
This is immature.
I am putting it on a slideshow at my wedding.
This is childish humor.
David loves this. Oh my god. I can almost imagine the constant chat log.
You are fully aware that your interpretation of that phrase was not my intention. I was talking about philosophy.
Miss Auxiliatrix, if we ever have the pleasure of meeting in real life, you can rest assured I will always...
Say it.
One moment, I'm trying to breathe. You can rest assured.
Oh my god.
You can rest assured that I will always go. I am always down to go deep. And that's how you use the emoticon.
Your mind is filthy, and I want no part in your shenanigans. Do you see this outstretched hand? It is metaphorically pushing you and all your shenanigans away from me and my innocence. I invite you to talk to said limb in lieu of my face, unless you are prepared to shape up your thoughts.
I'm done, really. I am ready to talk about serious things.
Okay, I am listening patiently.
Good. Gosh, I can't think of anything close to the degree of intimacy you honored with me tonight. Well, I can. I'm just not sure you want to hear it. It's private crap about my family, and it's pretty much one of the only things I don't really talk about, blog-wise, because it's really that personal.
If you are uncomfortable, then please stop. But I am not.
Okay. All right, then. My mom. I was about 6. Roxy was 9. My mom was a single mom. My mother was a single mom working in STEM with 2 kids. She was under a lot of stress, breathing damn near constantly. And she didn't generally have a lot of time for creature comforts. In her position, the only convenient stress relief was that she could practice with any kind of promised efficiency was alcohol, so she partook with an increasing frequency. It was not only she who suffered as a consequence. She was never cruel to us, but the drinking did result in some neglect on her behalf. A lack of sufficient attention, which Roxy and I was forced to compensate for with each other, as children ought not need to do. It took its toll on our relationship in particular. A child tends to internalize things. Sometimes I look at my relationship with her and consider that what might have been without that period in our lives. But such thinking is unproductive and untimely, and ultimately would only hurt me. What is past is in the past, which is now my choice. Ultimately, my mother acknowledged her problem, and she successfully quit. It's not an immediate thing, but a product of much work and her willingness to take a break sometimes, and admit her failures. She is a remarkably strong woman, despite her many, many shortcomings in the field of social interactions. 9 years sober this August. I am proud of her.
That is a remarkable story. Thank you for sharing it with me. Your mother seems like a wonderful woman. I would like to meet her someday.
I'm sure she'd like to meet you too. She has an affinity for the intellectual, charming types.
Hush. You are shameless.
Shameless and charming.
Granted.
I'm going to bed. Will I talk to you tomorrow?
Most definitely. Good night, Miss Therapist.
Night. One moment before I start reading that because I need to refill my water bottle.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a nice big huge drink of some water right after this is finished. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have a running theory that maybe if I have push to talk on during these scenes, I'll actually be able to have the entirety of my audio be heard. Maybe it's just that.
Yeah, your mic might be it might be messing up its pickup.
Yeah. So I mean I don't wanna scream at the top of my lungs to test that on stream, but like, you know, if y'all are available and I can just like, you know, cap out. Let me know.
Thank you all for listening. This stream is brought to you by Olaf's Vrisk Emporium. What does that even mean? I don't know. But if you go to @WilletHomestuck on Twitter.com, I'm sure you'll find out eventually.
If I remember for nothing else, I hope that my legacy is opening the world's eyes to Olaf Vrisk.
I feel like that, along with Mormon Gamzee, has become like the running joke of this server.
Yes. And other things too. Raw bread is there now.
Raw bread.
I like
I'm
to
so
share.
happy that my fan fiction was the thing to spark that particular.
Here's what I'm very proud of is that of the two, Bread and Olaf Vriska, half of the things that I've said that have become iconic were on purpose, which gives me hope for my ability to manage my own brand.
There you go.
Power of marketing.
All right. I've had water. I'm back in bed.
Okay, Rose, are you good?
Time to read this.
I was gonna say the bulk of this is yours. I'll read the Kanaya cut-ins. Let me just see if there's any other people talking.
There are not. It's just her.
Okay, I'll read the Kanaya cut-ins to give you a break.
Okay.
Go for it. And if you want to tag out with Clever, I'm sure she'd be happy to take it over. Hello? Okay, are you... Hosta, you there? Oh, okay, that was my computer.
My cat, as you all know, was a source of comfort for me upon many occasions, and I'm thinking about setting up some memorial to him. The memorial would consist of some thematic artifacts, which I believe he had some affinity for, were he alive. Jasper? Are you crying or laughing?
Crying.
Why are you crying?
I found a ball bean.
I'm trying to read
What?
Oh,
What was that?
Ah, yes, the elusive ball bean.
Child, I'm trying to read something. Please stop crying. Go cry in the bathroom.
Oh my god.
Crying in the bathroom. You know how it is. You know how it do.
Go cry in the bathroom already.
That's what normal people
Leave
do.
me be, child. Soak your tears in the kitchen sink.
God.
That's where they're useful. Nowhere else. Nowhere else.
Why does that becomes a thing as well? Go cry in the bathroom.
Go cry in the bathroom.
Go cry, emo kid.
Spare me of your crying. I needed
Oh,
no.
heavens. Okay, where were we? Jasper.
cat. Or however.
No, you got
Jasper,
it.
obviously, because good wordplay is the height of literary merit. And but perhaps a set of otherwise stones or candles, a picture or two, maybe some artistic rendering, as I have seen others do for their cats, and most of the time it seems to bring them great peace. What prompted these thoughts? Nothing in particular. My sister has an abiding love of cats, of course, so she talks about them frequently. But today she came home with a new kitten that she immediately christened Fergalish. A funny name for a being that can't speak, for those of you who notice the reference, and prompted an introspective mood. Very sweet cat, he came up and nuzzled my hand twice without even checking for food. He also climbed onto my bed without permission, so he's a little gutsy, but I like that in a cat. I need a cat with... How do I say that?
Chutzpah.
Wait. Oh, yeah. Chutzpah. Chutzpah.
Yeah.
Like
Chutzpah?
you're...
Like Hanukkah. Like Hanukkah.
Okay. We're gonna pretend I say that.
Yeah.
We're gonna pretend I said that word proper.
Job. You said that word. That one
Yay.
person tried. Oh my
Nailed
god.
it.
Does anyone... I believe I found the pictures likely to be used for Jasper's memorial, but as for the stones, I am at a loss. Pretty much all the ideas I have are either puns or just things that I appreciate, but would not necessarily... Catnip, any thoughts? Aside from AC, am I gonna see in this at some point? Awesome.
No, sadly.
Aw, really?
Yeah. There's references to other troll characters, but none of them get lines.
Yeah.
Dang it! And here I...
Yeah, no.
Thankfully low. I have more necessary supplies. I will disclose my full recipe list after I do not mislead anybody into an unsuccessful ritual. Questions answered. In response to Turntech Godhead's question, and I quote, the karmic, I can't say that word, of fate. A little ugly of you, don't you think, asking me something that like this in my submission box? You are very lucky that inquiries were rare this week, Dave. Otherwise, you would have been ignored. Heavens, that's a mouthful. Don't think I'm past soft blocking you. I've done it before. That being said, karma is a force, according to some, which give the person their due. Why, it's neither it's neither innately phallic nor uteral. However, I can recommend some interesting sources to explain why a person might perceive a gender-neutral object as phallic for whatever reason. In respect to carnation, I'm skipping that question.
Carcinogeneticist.
Thank you. Cute.
I forgot that joke.
What?
Because that's Carcat.
Yeah.
Kanaya asked him for advice on Rose's favorite flowers, so he asked her.
Right.
Aww, that's so cute.
That is pretty cute. Personal news. Self-age Kanaya Miriam have yet been thwarted. She seems utterly preoccupied with preparing for the dinner party, as does her sister, to the deterrent of her relationship with my own. Apparently, they are very preoccupied with making our upcoming meal as enjoyable as possible. I do not blame her. She is a woman of composure, and I have no doubt that the ordeal she prepares will be one of superb quality and atmosphere. However, she has left me without a person to speculate about, and I am somewhat at a loss. There's only so much time that a person can spend thinking about a blog. Roxy insisted in getting me out of the house this morning and hauled me off on her play date. You may have noticed a trend of me minding my business. On strange, unnecessary expeditions to places I really have no business going. Fortunately, her destination was her friend Jake's house, who happens to be the brother of one of my close friends at Garden Gnostic. So we have an enjoyable time anyway. We had a rousing conversation about the merits of gardening and growing one's own herbs. She generously allowed me to take some of the rosemary from her garden, a scent which she knows I'm quite partial. Jade is a good friend. Jade is a bean, and we love her.
Jade is perfect. I would die for her.
I would die for her as well. The other notable aspect of today was that I saw Kanaya in her garden upon returning from Jade's house, and was pleasantly surprised. I debated calling out to her, but ultimately decided against it. A waited glance, then concerning my journey inside. Yet Kanaya herself, apparently purged with the shyness which tainted our first encounter, assailed me instead. Leaning over the fence, she said,
"Hello, Rose."
In such a way that I was at once overcome by her sweetness and friendliness. "Hi," I said eloquently.
"Were you working outside?"
She pointed to my knees, which were undoubtedly coated with dirt and fairies flora as a result of working in Jade's herb patch. Herb. I hate English. Herb patch. Jake. Involuntarily, I assured her. I was gathering some herbs at a friend's.
"Could I see them?"
Sure. I crossed my lawn and presented the bag. She opened it and took a quick sniff, and then closed it, apparently discerning all necessary information from one scent. She's quite skilled at plant identification, apparently.
"Is that rosemary?"
I just realized why that might be one of her favorites.
the thing.
They said the thing. Ha ha! Nudge, nudge. Wink, wink.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I have some incense.
Is that rosemary? I mean, yeah, it's pretty rosemary.
I have some incense scented with it in my bedroom. It's such a nice, sharp scent.
Isn't it? I have a few candles. I can loan you some if you run out of incense.
Would you? That would be lovely.
She gestured towards her backyard.
I've been trying to start up a planter for it, along with other scented plants, but it's slow going.
Problems with the soil?
Yes. How did you know?
My friend claims to face the same problems. I can arrange a meeting between you if you'd like. She blinked, perhaps surprised with my...
That would be nice. I've been trying to get it up and running for a while now, but it's been impossible.
Oh, good.
We have family
Smaller
shenanigans.
humans, can
family-
you please
family
shush
things.
your pie hole?
That would be nice. I've been trying to get it up and running for a while now, but it's been impossible. The only things that grow are in transplanted soil, and I really haven't the slightest idea how to grow anything else.
She'll be glad to talk to you. She's very friendly, I assured. And then said, "Do you perhaps have any lavender?"
Not on me, why?
"Oh, I ran out recently, that's all,"
Well,
she said brightly.
I can plant some for you, as soon as I've got the soil figured out.
Would you? I don't want to ask too much.
You're not asking too much at all. I like it, too.
In that case, I sought out another vain reason to continue the conversation. Finding none, I surrendered. See you tomorrow, then?
Yes.
She appeared, at least in my biased opinion, similarly dismayed at the sudden and brute ending of our dialogue.
You should come into the garden sometime.
I'd be useless.
Maybe, but an entertaining kind of useless.
She encouraged. and then seemed to immediately regret saying so.
I'm sorry. Was that rude?
It was only as rude as I choose to interpret it, and I chose to believe that it was a well-intentioned jab at my self-admitted failures. Not at all.
Excellent. Well, then,
She smiled and patted my shoulder. It was intense.
I will see you soon.
Yes. I said more or less to her back, as by that time she was retreating into the garden, and I was left standing uselessly on my porch with a handful of rosemary, watching the impeccable Canary Miriam sally off. That was all that happened today, to be honest. I am thankful for it. There's only so much excitement a girl can weather. We all must enjoy moderation, if and when it comes to us. As always, the inquiry box is open. Feel free to solicit any advice on any and all supernatural feats with supernatural feats that you have witnessed or have a good evening, readers. Tentacle Therapist.
I love it. You're saying whether you started to sound like you were doing a southern accent. Like, I tried to do a Jane like noir voice when I read the first one, and by the end of reading it for like an hour, I couldn't keep the voice up, and I kept like drifting into southern. Like no.
I've gone the other way with slipping from southern into New York.
Yeah, I can't do New York.
No,
anymore.
the thing is, I've been in choir for quite a while, and we're always taught to say things like in a British accent to like enunciate our vowels and consonants and all that. So sometimes, because of that training, I accidentally slip into that kind of voice when just normally talking.
Okay, I'm gonna skim through this real quick because I know this fic gets not safe for work at some point, but not, I don't think, in this chapter. No, this is not a not safe for chapter. Okay, this one is Rose, Kanaya, and narrator. I think almost exclusively. What's that? Hello? Oh, goddamn Discord. Fucking Discord. Yeah, I know I'm disconnected, you dumb piece of shit. Sorry, folks, we're going through some technical difficulties right now because Discord has decided that it doesn't want to behave itself. Yeah, come on. Bloop, bloop. Oh, God damn it. Give me a second. Why is it doing that? Very well said, Rice Milk.
Rose is a very chatty person.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, Discord is being a pain in the ass. I heard nothing that was said over the last minute or so. So, Rose, Kanaya, narrator.
Rose is going to be host. Dave's going to be Vince.
My DM is confused about why I sent him
Kanaya
a link to
again.
the trove, and it's hilarious.
I'll do Kanaya again.
All I have responded with is Frog God.
What?
You remember the Frog God link to the trove?
Okay.
I sent my DM it, and he's like, "Why did you send me this link?" And all I've responded with so far is Frog God.
Okay, cool. This one, for those who are not familiar, this is a it's kind of like a Western AU combined with like a sort of like Dark Tower-ish fantasy setting. It's pretty old school, like 2012, and I think it's really good. This is like the thing that started me with like wanting to write fan fiction.
Nice.
Yes.
Real quick,
What's that?
We get the link in the chat.
Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it?
I'm very happy that my tablet has a very wide screen because that's what I've been reading it on.
Cool. All right.
I'm having to use my stylus. I had to use my stylus last chapter as like a placeholder because of how big her text box is.
Alrighty. This is chapter 2, The Nature of Alchemy. Take it away, narrator.
Oh, I don't know if we got a narrator.
We have Rose, we have Kanaya. I don't think we have a narrator.
I'll take over a narrator if no one's got it.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. A short pause was all that came before Kanaya put her hand to her forehead and sighed loudly.
I'm afraid you've bested me.
Pardon?
Rose asked.
My Morail once assured me I was simply the best at being a flighty broad with a copious amount of snarky horseshit.
She replied.
But I have been bested. You are the flightiest broad on all of Eternia. I cannot hope to compete, what with a veritable mountain of snarky horseshit.
Rose chuckled.
And what part of it exactly is snarky horseshit?
Every last syllable that came out of your mouth.
Oh, come now.
She lifted her arms and spread them wide.
You're looking at a person that You're looking at a person that cannot simply be on Alternia, but for the grace of some cosmic startup.
Trolls' genetics are not without mutations.
Kanaya said.
My Morail doesn't even exist on the hemo spectrum. You may be an entirely new variant on troll mutation.
Her arms lowered, hands returning to her lap.
And how will you explain me transmuting your chainsaw? Is magic to be more rational of an explanation for you?
She took her hand from her face and gave Rose the most withering stare she could create. When all that was given in return was another chuckle, she sighed.
Do you honestly expect me to believe you about any of this?
Hardly,
she said.
Most people back on Earth didn't believe we could use alchemy. We prohibited the burning of so-called witches, though we tended to live a bit more removed from normal society.
So it's not a normal thing for humans, was it?
Oh, Hello? Oh, come on.
Kanaya?
That's another Kanaya.
Okay, it cut out again for a second.
Humans cannot regularly perform alchemy.
Many have tried throughout the years, from what my mother told me. Our family's memory. Mr. Hart was a particularly skilled alchemist.
Why is that?
Rose paused. The smirk that had gone for explaining came back, and a faint tilt of the head matched it.
Why, Miss Miriam, are you beginning to believe this horribly mutated troll's story?
She gave nothing, neither in her face nor in her voice, when she said,
I enjoy stories. Entertain me enough, and I won't bring in any enterprising trolls looking for potential bounties.
She did not speak, instead turning her fingers and bringing a needle back into reality. A tap to the leg of the chair she sat in sent sparks of electricity on the floor. Her new chair was created beside Kanaya, made up of the worn wooden floorboard.
See, no need to force my audience to stand while I'm seated.
Hold on, where are we? Oh, here. That's a narrator line.
Slowly, she sat.
All right, explain what you said.
1 second, my tablet is wigging out.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh no.
I just want to look at the freaking... I think I just chewed my lip into oblivion. Row.
Ouch.
Ow.
It's bleeding.
Yeah.
I need more water.
Do you need a minute?
Yes, I need a minute.
take your-
Technical
Okay.
difficulties are what's the...
That's
Why is
fine.
it always me? It's
Are we-
almost always me, or one of us accidentally cuts out.
So somebody's tapping in his rose.
Yes?
Okay.
No, David.
I
you
don't
cannot
know.
come in.
Hosta, do you need a minute, like, just a second, or do you need to, like, tag out for a second?
Tag out for a second.
Okay, do you want to switch narrator and Rose parts? Clever, do you want to do Rose?
I'd be fine with Rose.
Who wants to do the new narrator?
I'll do new narrating.
You're good at narrating. All right, cool.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, of course.
Where have we left off?
I think we're on a Rose line. It's as you wish.
Yeah.
Let me.
Oh my God.
Okay, I got it. I see where we are.
Yeah. As you wish.
She sat up straighter, hands finding a place on her knee once more.
The reason Mr. Harley was known as a skilled alchemist, and the reason why my mother was his disciple, are one and the same. It requires material and energy. Before, any sort of successful alchemy required too much energy to be feasibly done. Mr. Harley theorized the existence of a universal constant of power, based on old myths and archaeological findings. He called it the Green Sun Theorem, and he proved its existence by alchemizing, from scratch, a dog imbued with limitless energy and a plethora of abilities. He named it Becquerel, though we called him Beck. Following that, he created notations that could be followed to tap into the energy of the green sun.
God damn Discord. Oh boy. I'm again not able to hear shit. Hold on. God, fucking Discord. I'll try it on the internet. Sorry, folks. We're having technical difficulties once again. No, I'm not in another chat. Friggin'. All right, we're gonna see if the website.
Wait,
we're gonna see if the website.
Who was doing a self plug? Who was doing a self plug? Not me.
I have no idea where you were, and no one on stream heard anything because Discord was.
You
doing
cut
its
out
thing
for a
again.
good minute there.
Yeah,
You would be on. You would be on, and yet you continue to claim it. That would be your line that you would have to say. Is, and yet you continue.
Blah 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 blah. Yeah.
And yet you continue to claim it isn't magic.
Kanaya said, brow raised.
Has been incontrovertibly proven through our alchemy. However absurd its perpetual energy capabilities seem, it is real, and it is how we perform alchemy.
And before.
What is going on with Discord?
That'll be.
And I'm back!
Okay.
I'm back.
Why would you do this to me? There is no need for that.
Are we going to shuffle back? Or
Microphone-wise today.
Stay the way. Is that what it is?
Maybe a few of us have cut out. I've had to disconnect and reconnect a few
I
times.
think it's a Discord thing.
Yeah, my audio has been cutting out as well. I haven't been able to hear y'all occasionally. Like
yeah, I think
if you hear me cutting in, out because I keep having to disconnect and reconnect, that is probably why, because I can't hear y'all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're at Have I Entertained You Enough with Rose. Whoever wants to keep doing Rose.
I'm ready to tap back in if you're cool.
Yeah, good to me.
We'll shuffle back.
Does Vince want to keep narrating, or should I?
Continue narrating.
Okay,
cool.
Enough?
Perform your alchemy without your wand.
Thorns of Ugoloth, if you'd prefer the proper title.
Either way.
All right. Your lipstick, please.
I don't hear.
And added in designs and symbols that were meaningless to her. After a pause, the Virgo symbol was sketched in the center and the lipstick sat atop it. Rose put the pencil behind one ear before laying her hands on the edge of the circle. Because she was watching so closely, Kanaya was able to see the green tinge that suffused the electrical arcing that came from the formula lines. They reached up and fell upon the lipstick as if to simply unwrap it. The flash that came suddenly was blinding, and all that remained when she opened her eyes was a chainsaw, unchanged save for a green Virgo symbol on the engine casing. Rose said, as she took to her feet. She picked up the chainsaw with both hands.
You seem to have a flair for fashion, despite your weapon of choice.
She offered the thing as best one could offer a chainsaw. Kanaya stared. Rose managed not to laugh.
You always look except as you expect. Blah, 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 blah. You always look as though you expect me to have.
Chainsaw down, pressing forward the handle and start.
Oh my god. At least it's being transparent about it.
Slowly, carefully, she took the chainsaw. Her fingers brushed Rose's hands, and she felt the warm skin on the pads of her fingers. She set the chainsaw aside and kept her eyes fixed on the other woman as she returned to her chair and sat with a sigh.
What do you intend to do here?
Pardon?
I think that's a Kanaya line.
Oh, what do you intend to do here?
Pardon?
I want to know what it is you intend to do here. Why did you come to this town and my hostelry?
I was following a lead about Noir. This is the first town I came across after riding through the desert, and yours is the only place to stay.
Oh, she lifted one hand and shrugged.
Opportunity.
And you intend to leave without causing problems?
I've already said as much. It's quite inhospitable to cause trouble for your host.
A pause of silence.
How much do you expect me to trust your word in that regard?
As much as I would trust you not to take my life in the meantime.
Another pause. She held out her hand.
I ask that you give me the thorns to me.
A chuckle.
You don't trust me.
I have rules about weapons here.
Oh my god. Why does it keep doing that? Alright, it keeps cutting out on me, so I missed and so you do. Pick up there.
That's where we were.
Okay, cool.
That's you, Rose.
Boop-a-doo.
And so you do.
I'm sorry, refreshing the thing.
Okay.
Because this is always fun.
I think, I think
do.
Discord servers are getting hit kind of hard right now, so.
Where is it? Because the
Are you looking at my screen or are you looking at your own?
the stream screen.
Right here. It's the start of this highlighted thing.
Boy howdy, I love it when my Wi-Fi decides to be so slow that I can't see anything going on the screen.
It's the line, and so you do.
I am aware of what is being said, yet I cannot see anything on the stream.
The fourth from the top. Do you want to open the link on your tablet, just on your?
Can you look at it through Discord? Is that possible, Hosta? Because
Uh,
I'll share it for you if you need to.
It's not. It would be that, except my mom has put restrictions on my phone,
Oh, okay.
so I can't open it up
Ah.
unless I can open the tablet,
Oh.
which I doubt. That's why I was looking over at the stream, which I do not believe is brought up.
It is.
Down.
I don't.
Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit behind.
Yeah, it is. It's like way behind. What's going on with the stream? Raid. Oh, we got raided.
Yeah, I am
Raided by a
unable
party of
to
5.
open it from Discord.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, yeah, hello there, new person.
Yeah, we got a couple
new
of
people.
We got a
Five
couple of new people.
5 raiders.
5 raiders.
I
Welcome
don't
to
know what
our
that means.
welcome to our community live stream. It means that people have come in from another channel. It's you build
Oh,
like
cool.
a party of people.
Hey!
So cool.
Hope you enjoy. We're having a
Technical
lot of trouble.
difficulties.
We're
This happens
experiencing
every
technical
time.
difficulties right now. Please bear with us. We'll be with you
The
Literally
as
last
soon
one
as
I
we
see on the
can.
stream screen is I have rules about weapons here.
It's the line right after that. And the stream screen is super frozen for some reason.
Yeah,
Yes.
the line Hosta mentioned is at the bottom of the
I'm
screen.
gonna
From what I
do
see.
it. There you go. Okay, I refreshed my stream. It froze up on me,
Okay.
that's all. Because it's bad.
There we go.
All right, cool. Now we're caught up.
Coolio.
Woo! Okie dokie. And so you do.
Oh.
Narrator.
Thank you. Rose said. She lifted both hands, turning her fingers to bring both needles out from nothingness. Once more, she tapped the legs of her chair. Small flashes spoke of more alchemy, and she brought her hands back up with a pair of wooden needles. She gave up the thorns willingly.
What do you need those for?
Kanaya asked.
The thorns were really knitting needles once upon a time. I like to knit.
She blinked, brows drawing together as her head rocked back.
You are a very strange person, Miss Lalonde.
You may call me Rose, Miss Miriam.
A
Rose
moment of-
lines really do know how to twist your tongue to the point you have to scream to get it back to normal.
A moment of hesitation came before she stood.
And so I may.
Without another pause, without another word, she left the room. Also, I've noticed that there is, at some point, going to be... What was it? Yeah, John and Vriska. So if you wanna, if anybody wants to tap out for narrator, I would absolutely adore rolling with it, John. So
yeah, cool. Is it in this chapter or is it in a later one?
I'm looking. I
thought it was like in the next chapter, but yeah, no. If we get to that, we can switch things around.
I'll
That's
tap
fine.
in. I'll tap into narrator since I believe Rose is done for this chapter.
Okay, I see.
We got a car cat now.
We have Dave, I think. Is there Dave in this one?
There is Dave, but I don't know if it's in this.
Okay, I want to do Dave.
All right, we need a car cat now.
I will take car cat.
Okay,
I'll do Dave. If there's a Dave, I'll do Dave.
There is a Dave eventually.
Dear listeners, this is normal.
We're all
Don't
professionals.
Worry.
We're all very professional.
Hey, at least we communicate.
We do.
Absolutely.
Communicate. All right.
I have to cut out in the middle of that sentence.
All right. The sentence about how we communicate. All right. Okay.
We all have crappy mics, and we're trying our best.
I don't have a crappy mic. The Discord sucks.
I do.
I dropped out in the middle there.
And I'm the only one who's not
What
on
is it,
Discord.
younger human? No. Hi, David.
I'm the only mic everyone can always hear. All right. We are on a narrator line.
Me.
Yes, narrator.
Apologies.
It's fine.
Hi, David. What do you want?
Guess
What did you forget you had? Please don't play the kazoo. Thank you.
Folks, this is the kind of quality content we strive to provide you with every single week.
Because basically, for 20 minutes after the meeting, we can listen to Halo music.
That's great.
Stupid meme songs.
That's great.
Basically,
Foundation against ship wars.
That's great, David. Can you please go that way now?
bye.
Please stop touching me.
Protected you in.
For just 19 cents a day, you can prevent
Go
pointless
away.
flame wars on forums everywhere. The Foundation Against Ship Wars.
We're good now. Again, I need to reiterate. This is normal. It's not a stream until I start having to talk with my siblings.
Several of us have siblings. We know.
They're gonna like wake up one day and see that they're like trending on Twitter and Twitch. I'm like, why are we all famous suddenly? It's like, well, maybe there's been some interactions.
False charity attempts to scam viewers.
God.
Well, yes, y'all do have siblings. I'm the one that yells at mine the most frequently on streams.
My sibling lives 2,000 miles away from me. I would have to call her on the phone to yell at her.
The only other person who can compete with me is Wash, who had to edit an entire stream to get his sibling.
No, it was my child, not my
the babies.
Siblings. It was my
little
babies. Yeah. All right, narrator, take it away.
I think that will be you, Bucky.
Do we switch narrators? Okay, cool.
Because I'm getting ready for Dave.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Bucky's narrator now. Sure.
Bucky, if you don't want to be narrator, I'll be narrator. So I think Rose is done.
that'd be.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Had he been able to get any real sleep, Carcat might not have been so hungover when he was violently shaken awake. The punch he threw was caught in a grip he knew well, and he groaned as he rolled over, his head to one side as he to one side to let free his eyes from the sober slime.
Shit on a rampaging slither beast, Miriam.
He said.
What the fuck do you want?
We have to talk. Now, get out.
He yelped as she pulled him halfway out of his cocoon. He barely managed to grab hold of the edge to stay inside.
What the fuck?
He jerked back when she shoved 2 long knitting needles towards his face.
Look at these,
she said.
You make clothes.
He grumbled.
I get it. You don't need to wake me up to show me some new skirt you made.
These belong to one of the brigand drifts.
She said.
They belong to an alien creature who is female, and she used them to perform alchemy.
She held them closer to him.
Real alchemy. It looks like magic, but her explanations and demonstrations assure me it's alchemy.
Rose using alchemy to turn off the computer on John's side. Come on, Hasta. You're trolling us with your Rose. Come on.
He said with a drawling groan.
I'm not gonna read any of your stupid, shitty novels just to listen to you make shit up.
Carcat, we have known each other for sweeps, and have been moirails for almost as long. You know that I am completely incapable of fabricating a story. I have absolutely no reason to lie to you.
1 second, my thing is being stupid. Don't you hate it when the text gets all blurry so you can't freaking read the parts that you're supposed to be reading?
Yeah, it's not gonna
Stream quality drops, yeah.
There we go. Where were we?
He blinked.
Imagine the day where Hasta doesn't have to read without restrictions. She's gonna be on the top of the world. That's what I'm waiting for.
Unstoppable.
Completely unstoppable. I can look at it with my phone and the tablet.
He blinked, eyes narrow, then out of thought instead of that. He blinked, eyes narrow, then out of thought instead of pained exhaustion. He looked past her, wincing at the traces of light that managed to slip through the heavy shutters on the window.
The middle of the day?
Yes.
After a long, suffering sigh, he pulled himself out of the recupercoon. Though he stumbled at first, bare feet and legs in boxer shorts, slippery with slime. Though that's 3 S words in the one after another. That's a fourth one. He took to steadiness quickly. He blinked again when she held out a towel.
How the fuck long did you wait until you woke me up?
As long as I could.
She said. The moment the towel was out of her hand, she began to pace the room, bringing one hand to her chin and holding the needles with the other.
Which was not very long, admittedly. You must understand, Carcat, that despite your drunken statement shortly before daybreak, I have no idea whatsoever to do with this brigand drift here. I am absolutely befuddled, and so intrigued that I'm certain she mistook my awe for terror.
Intrigued?
He lifted his head, face clean with slime, to show his toothy sneer.
What the fuck is there to be intrigued about? She's a freak brigand drift and you should toss her ass out. I vote that her ass gets bisected by a good chainsaw swing, but that's just me.
Channel a bit of Arid in here.
Hey, leave him alone. He's already got beaten out of the webcomic once.
That's fine. I enjoy him. He's funny. It's just fun to poke fun at him.
Yeah,
she waved her hand haphazardly.
Fall over.
No. I'm not entirely sure I can outpace her in a weapons draw, though I must admit that I was caught entirely off guard when she drew a needle to confront me. She already changed my chainsaw into a tube of lipstick once.
In scrubbing at his right arm, he stared so fiercely that he ripped the scabbing on his wrist clean off.
She did what?
Alchemy, Carcat. I informed you of that at the beginning.
Whoa, no, you said alchemy, and I heard blah blah shitty story. What the fuck do you mean she turned your chainsaw into lipstick?
Just that. She changed it back before I left in her room and took the needles with me.
Her pacing quickened, and she stared at the things in her hand.
I want to hesitate to believe it, but the more I think back on it, the more foolish it seems to continue to deny what I've seen in front of me.
He reached out when she passed near and snatched the needles out of her hand. When she tried to retrieve them, he held her back and leaned to keep them out of reach.
God damn it, Miriam, I know that look.
What?
You've got that fucking look on your face that you get every time I tell you about what new shitty thing I've gone through while running around with my mutant blood.
1 second. Browser is being a brat. I can't wait for the day when my internet isn't so crappy that my browser keeps crashing.
Bruh, bad internet, weird champ.
Yeah.
Pretty weird champ, yes.
What was it?
Da-da-da. He said.
Oh, now I lost my place. Hold on. Okay. And you get it when you read those stupid books and when you hear about the crazy fucks running around on the ocean. You just want to believe her story.
Carcat, that is ridiculous. I have witnessed her perform this alchemy. It's no longer a matter of wanting or not wanting to believe in a story.
The fuck it's not. If you're gonna fuck around about kicking out a brigand drift because you want to hear a new story, then I'm not gonna go throw her freak ass out so hard she's gonna never come near this town again.
He shoved her back once and more and turned away, but was halted when she grabbed hold of his bleeding wrist.
No.
She hissed.
You don't understand. I did come to ask you for advice on how to handle this, but we cannot go rushing in to attack her. Those needles do not exist with any sense of normality.
He stared at her.
I am not being facetious. She can make them disappear, and she can make them come back to her hands whenever she wants. I have no doubt that she can make them disappear out of our hands if we try to attack her. If we attack, we will be fighting against something we have never seen before, and I have even less desire to inflict that danger upon you than I dare it myself.
Thanks for the pale thought, but that doesn't make me want to not go cut her hands off.
Carcat, please. We must come up with some sort of plan.
He stared until the long nail of pain in his skull made him close his eyes and groan. He settled in and stopped trying to pull his arm from her grasp. Hey, Carcat.
Carcat.
Oh,
Your
sorry.
line.
Stream lag.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, fine.
With another groan, he rubbed gingerly at his forehead.
Let me put some fucking pants on and we'll figure out what to do with the witch bitch.
She let him shuffle away, chewing at a nail on one thumb while he rummaged in a small rucksack he had tossed in the corner. He put on a pair of scuffed, faded black jeans that were ripped at the heels and shredded at the knees. And she let out a soft sigh at the sight of him.
I do wish you would at least let me patch those.
Okay, focus on something other than clothing for a second, idiot.
He forewent his shirt, returning with a needle in each hand.
Have you tried breaking these things?
I was unable to destroy them, even with my chainsaw.
One moment. Let's see. There we go. He sighed and sneered at them. Slowly, he tilted his head to one side, bringing them closer for inspection. And folding them in both hands, he tried to snap them in half. Green electricity arced through his hands, biting in his flesh, and he yelped as he threw them away. Kanai caught them, and he strung together a list of curses as he waved his scorched hands into the air to try to cool them.
Yes, that was about the sum of my efforts.
She said.
I doubt they can be destroyed without some kind of alchemic intervention, which we have no means to accomplish.
What the shit does she even want?
He snarled.
She claims that all she wants is to rest before being on her way.
What else does she want?
From what she said, she's hunting a creature that she and the other brigandress inadvertently created with the remnants of the failed alchemy that brought them to Alternia.
He put his hands on his face.
Oh, Gog. I can't fucking believe you're buying this pile of horse shit.
It is hardly what I want to purchase.
All she wants out of you is a place to sleep?
Supposedly.
Okay, fine. She gets a little day nap like a good little wriggler, and then you throw her the fuck out. If she bitches, tell her she's a shitty patron. Simple.
I doubt that.
Kanaya.
Actually, it cut out during the line, so
Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
No. Okay, fine. She gets a little day nap like a good little wriggler, and then you throw her the fuck out. If she bitches, tell her she's a shitty patron. Simple.
I doubt that.
Then we cut her fucking hands off so she can't do her freaky magic.
Alchemy.
Her freaky magic, and we cut her head off if she keeps bitching. It's not like you're trying to take down a fucking dragon.
She went silent. He sighed, rubbing the back of his pounding head. At the sight of the blood flowing down his arm, bright red even in the dim room, he paused. He took his hand away from his head and watched the wound on his wrist bleed freely.
We get her out of here at nightfall.
She looked at him.
We swear on it.
He
You
held
swear
out
that you're
his
going to get
hand.
her... Oh, sorry. You swear that you're going to get her the fuck out of here, and I swear that I'll help you if you need it.
Silence.
Either you mean it or you don't. Come on.
She took a slow, deep breath. Letting it seep in from her mouth, she took her hand away. After pushing up her sleeve, she cut her wrist with the long fang, the jade blood flowing easily as did the red, and she reached out in time with Karkat. They took each other's arms, palms coming to rest over the runes they made. With heat on her hand and coolness on his, they shook. Sorry, my thing's being crappy again. See if refreshing it helps. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. It's always fun with technical difficulties. Decide to make my life pain. Here we go. In the earliest hours of night, when most trolls were just waking from the long dark of Alternian night, Kanaya found Rose sleeping. The Recupercoon in the farthest, darker corner was untouched, though the woman was slumped against the wall nearby. Her arms folded over her stomach, one leg turned to the side as though it had fallen from atop its compatriot in the small movement of slumber. She stepped inside and closed the door silently behind her. In the woods, she watched it sleep. From a distance, a little creepy here, Kanaya. From a distance, she could not see the rise and fall of her shoulders in breathing, but the soft hissing inhales and exhales told her of the slow, deep pace. Without the fierceness that forced her to take in the barest details before, Kanaya could see that her blonde hair was bright to the point that the tips had strands faded into white. It stood out in the dark, so unlike anything she had seen. It wasn't particularly strange to see female trolls walking in the world clad in trousers and pants, but standing here in her dark green skirt and white blouse, she found the jeans somewhat striking. The small, bare feet that came from the legs, skin perfectly pale. Kanaya, you are very smitten with this description here. We're all the more different, and drew her eyes closely. She wondered if the tone was healthy, if the dusting of someone dusker. I'm trying to read this in Kanaya voice, and it's not helping me. The duskier shades on her cheeks was normal. The rustle of cloth against wood made her start and cease staring into details. Rose tilted to one side in jerking angles. Farther and farther until she began to slip steadily over. Her spine seized, and she straightened with a groan muffled by her lips. Though she shifted her shoulders and settled back against her walls, she blinked open her eyes. Gaze downcast at first, she saw the polished black shoes at the other end of the room and grabbed at the air. A needle caught in her grip, but she halted when she looked up. Oh, there's a Rose voice!
Yeah. Clever, I guess.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah.
Is it common for you to enter your patrons' rooms while they sleep?
She asked, voice blurry.
Only if I think they're going to cause trouble.
Hello?
It's
Get out there, bud. Ah, well.
What?
She sniffed and rubbed at her eyes.
Oh, okay. I cut off for you, but everyone on the stream heard it.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Don't trolls usually cause trouble in general?
You must admit you're something of a special case.
I'm smart.
All right, granted.
Rose neither stretched nor stood, merely opening her eyes to properly look at Kanaya.
Is there something you needed from me?
She blinked, and a tiny smirk came across her sleepy face. I had to read ahead there a bit, because I'm like, uh-oh.
No, I scanned this already. There's no not safe for work stuff in here.
I know.
You're good.
But some things can slip past if certain past
No,
Like
there's like
Prince Evan
a
and
chapter
Say.
that is very definitely not safe for work, but this is not that chapter.
That chapter, I'm not going to be able to read anything
You
on it, am
sure
I?
are not.
You probably won't be having it on the stream if that's the case.
We probably will not.
It's just like, look, child, you are not allowed to read anything on this page. Just go elsewhere.
If I remember correctly, it's not smut, but it's explicit enough that no, you're not reading it.
Pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Are you here to properly run me out?
Where did we go? Silence. Yeah, thank you. She slowly stood, dusting off the back of her jeans when she went on her feet.
I must admit, I'm not too surprised.
Why is that?
In the sweeps we've spent here, there were only 2 trolls who didn't try to kill us in the end, and they were among the lowest in this peculiar hemospectrum of yours.
She gestured to Kanai's bandaged wrist and the green stain on the cloth.
Most trolls higher on the spectrum want us gone or dead. Now that I see you're almost among nobility, I amend my statement. I'm only surprised you didn't try to kill me in my sleep.
Every muscle in Kanai's back tightened instantly.
I beg your pardon.
I told you before that I trusted you not to murder me as much as you believed my story. I don't think for a moment that you believed me.
You honestly expected me to kill you.
She went to the corner of the room where she had sat her things, waving one hand over her shoulder.
Absolutely. You're a troll, after all.
What is that supposed to mean?
Trolls are extremely violent creatures.
Rose said, standing as she picked up her coat. She pulled it onto her shoulders with a soft exhale.
Quick to annihilate any sort of major deviation, be it political or physical. The higher on your hemospectrum, the more ferociously you adhere to the practice of culling. Given your unique shade of green, I would have estimated the time between my exposure and your attempt to kill me to be much shorter.
Are you insinuating that I am nothing more than a simple-minded murderer?
Only simple-minded insofar as your species' propensity for murdering rather needlessly. You yourself really are quite articulate.
She lifted her bag on one shoulder, picking up her hat with her free hand. When it was safely on her head and her bag firmly settled, she turned her fingers to reclaim the needle's twin.
I'll have my guns back, and then I'll be on my way.
Kanaya did not move when Rose came near. She looked down her nose to keep their gaze. Her mouth was set in a frown, fangs bright on her black lips.
Move,
Rose said.
I am not a mindless murderer.
She scoffed.
You're a troll.
That equates to less than nothing. Would you like me to participate in this assumption by sight game you're playing? Based on what I've seen of you, I'd have to say humans are soft little creatures that have to rely on magic and sarcasm to scrape by and live their small, cruel lives.
Rose's smirk returned, made dark with the hat tilted over her face.
Your fangs are showing, Miss Merriam.
You wish you had fangs to show.
The movement was expected. Every tiny sign it caught her eye instantly. The twitching of shoulders up, elbows bending, hands rising, everything was seen, and she knew her reaction as it happened. She slid one foot forward, pushing hard against Rose's to break her balance. The moving wrist she snatched a hold of, and she made Rose turn in her stumbling. Kanaya slammed her against the door hard enough for the frame to rattle. I'm evaluating something really quickly.
Oh, you're cutting out a lot.
Oh no, I'm not cutting out. I'm quiet because I'm trying to evaluate whether or not I want to read this.
Oh.
I'll read this.
Please tag in. For
Yeah,
this little
okay.
bit
You're the narrator now. It's suggestive, but not like.
Heck yeah.
There's a
All
little
right.
child in here, and I got.
Yeah,
let's.
Vince.
Where am I? Please tell me. Oh, please tell me.
Kanaya slammed her against the door.
Oh.
Did you see why I'm like?
Oh no, I can see. Oh, I can see a lot of things. Kanaya slammed her against the door hard enough for the frame to rattle, pining her arms to the side. Her hat slid off her head, and she fell quietly to the floor. Though she struggled, there was not enough strength in her to win out against the troll's grip. When she made to move her hands and bring the needles to the wall, Kanaya squeezed her wrists painfully tight, and her fingers were seized up in a spasm that made her drop them. Before she could call them back, Kanaya folded her fingers closed and held them fast. They stood, captured and restraining, and stared at each other.
I had wondered if you were truly faster than me.
Kanaya said.
I suppose this means I can add another fact to the rumors about the brigand drifts. Humans are quite slow.
Let me go.
Admit that I am not a mindless killer.
I will do no such thing. You've nearly broken my wrists and are holding me captive.
But I am not killing you.
I have a hard time believing you're anything but a step away from doing so.
I'm tagging back in. I think this is good time to tag back in. Let's hope! She stared, brows drawn together, and did not move.
And what will you do if I let you go?
Another scoff.
You won't.
A pause. Very slowly, she began to loosen her grip. The shock that flickered over Rose's face, that shone in her eyes as she looked from hand to hand, was satisfying. The confusion that settled on her brows when she let her hands go entirely was perfect, and she took a step backward to let it sink in.
Now,
she said quietly,
what are you going to do, O good and pure rational human?
Her fingers turned immediately and took back the thorns. She did not move along that for a long while. She breathed slowly. Eventually, she looked away and brought one foot back.
You've honored our bargain. I'm going to take my things and leave without causing a ruckus.
It was tiny sparks at the tip of thorns that made them both react. Kanaya stared, stepping back as Rose lifted the needles to look at them. In a heartbeat, the sparks between winding snakes of green lightning, hissing and lashing down Rose's arms. The sleeves of her coat and shirt snapped into flames as the heat of the energy. She swore aloud as she slapped the needles against her arms. The flaming cloth vanished in a puff of smoke and ash, leaving charred edges at her elbows. A wave of her hand made the needles disappear as she wrenched her clothes, coat and bag from her and cast them on the ground. Outside, a deep rumble seeded a crack flash of lightning. The green color that poured through the green color that poured from the shutters made Kanaya turn, but the sound of wood rent asunder made her turn back faster. She caught sight of Rose bolting away, barefoot and clutching the thorns in her steaming hands. Her only thought was to follow, as she caught up her skirt to run. Trolls, wide awake, already carousing the saloon, jumped from their chairs at the sight of Rose bursting into the room. When she charged behind the bars, the needles wrenching out fire surges of lightning at the gun cabinet, they cried aloud in confusion and fury. The rumble outside had been growing. Suddenly, become a roar to drown out any shouting. Rose, armed with her guns, was allowed to pass by the virtue of distraction, dodging between trolls and lucii and tables and slamming her shoulder against the swinging doors. Kanaya was afforded the same opportunity by running as quickly as she could.
When she reached the
outside world, she was forced to plant her feet firmly against the howling wind that threw dust from the main road high into the air. The great wind soon ripped all dust from sight, letting her see Rose pelting up the road. In the distance, beyond the flapping white of her untucked shirt, thin black form lumbering forward. The moons above were full, the glow of purple and green blending to make the world bright.
Amen.
With that light, she could see the resolving into shapes. What she had mistaken for long horns were revealed to be upswept ears. A long muzzle showed against the narrow neck, and claws that could have been made from glistening obsidian capped the fingers. Rose skid to a halt, lifting a gun that she had not stuck hastily into her belt. The tip of the needle met the end of the barrel, which she fired the lightning rod with a bullet. 4 shots were cracked off. Each bullet found the face of the creature. Massive explosions of green starlight made the creature rock back, but only slightly. When the smoke cleared, its maw had opened. Long white fangs shone bright. It lifted its head, its chest swelled. It let out a roar of pure sensation that rattled buildings and battered Kanaya's chest. The speed Rose had was just enough to let her drop down and stab the needles into the ground. With a flash, a thick wall of stone surged up to protect her from the roar, and she flicked the needles again. Shining metal broke the ground and formed into bullets that flowed into the gun. My screen is blurring up again. One moment. Oh, this is fun. Great way to break the immersion screen. Thank you so much. Where?
Rising to her feet.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Shiny metal broke from the ground and formed into bullets that flowed into the gun. Rising to her feet, bringing both guns to bear, the thorn spat lightning and let the wall collapse. The creature was already there. It backhanded her, throwing her far through the air to crash upon the ground. With Rose so close then, Kanaya could see the 3 gashes rent upon her face, bright red blood flowing from them. There was no hesitation in Rose regaining her footing, and she fired both guns in a flurry of screaming lightning. When the bullets struck, the lightning expanded and caught every inch of the creature in its grasp. It shuddered and jerked and seized in the electricity, and when it tilted its head to roar, a shrieking, echoing howl made its way through the fangs. It bent in upon itself and retched upright, flinging its arms out. The lattice green broke apart, and it howled as it looked at Rose. Rose, standing tall with red staining the white shirt and speckling blue jeans. Rose, thorns bringing back the ammunition to her guns and letting the lightning wind through the chambers, and then looked away from her and began to laugh. Kanaya turned to follow its gaze and found her eyes looking at the trolls that stood in the street in shock. They stood by their luci, a multitude of weapons drawn but hanging useless in their hands. There was no comprehension on their faces, and when she looked back at the creature, she heard it laughing. She saw it begin to change. Rose did not expect it, so she did not know how to chase him until he had ripped off the head of the nearest troll off its neck and bitten the face off the Lucis. There was no way to fire accurately while running, so she did her best to move quickly as she sought round after round, the thorns constantly replenishing her bullets, and each shot brought with it a new effect. One would explode, the other would bind the creature's legs with expanding metal, and yet another would make electricity dance along its spines. None of the shots would stop him from the slaughter. Soon trolls began to run screaming into the desert and the forest. The Luci tried to give them some time, but their blood, the same vast rainbow of their wards, painted the town. The creature looked at her, looked at Kanaya and smiled widely as its mouth would stretch. Her chainsaw was still inside. Her legs pushed her back through the doors without her mind's consent. She crashed through the chairs until her thought caught up with her muscles. She dove behind the bar and snatched up the weapon and felt the explosion of wood before she heard it. The creature snarled in its wild laughter, throwing aside tables as it drew closer. The first pull of the starter brought the chainsaw to life, and she scrambled to her feet, revving the engine. The black sword slammed down against the chainsaw, wedging its teeth and stopping it instantly. The creature pressed forward, snapping at her face with teeth. She held it back, but her arms could not press forward. Teeth grit, she made her move. The creature was allowed to complete its strike as she stepped aside and let the sword drive down the chainsaw. Carrying momentum, she turned on her heels and swung the chainsaw up and around. The sound of wings flapping and claws snapping and guns firing deafened her as a weight flew into her chest. She was knocked from her feet and crashed against the wall. Bottles leaping from the shelves and fell around her, shuddering loudly as the chainsaw stuttered into an idle rumble. Though she grabbed to hold on to it once more, her shoulders were shaken fiercely. Carcat?
We're leaving.
Carcat shouted in her ear.
Right the fuck now. Out, out, out.
He hauled her to her feet, dragging her along as he bolted. The floor was littered with broken wood, and they had to clamber through the hole that had been ripped into a wall. A sound reached her ears, and Kanaya looked back. It was a pair of screams that made her turn. The shriek of Carcat's Lucis, that scratchy squawk that only a crab could release, could have could have been familiar if it were not for the note of pain that made something rattle in her ears. He had been cut from shoulder to legs and fell into pieces. The second scream was one she had never heard before, it was only because she looked that she understood its source. Her Lucis had been ripped into by the creature's bare hands. Her jade splat. One moment. Her jade blood spattered across it. Her face twisted into a scream. Her and Karkat's Lucis hit the floor, and Kanaya broke free of Karkat's weakened grasp to charge back with a scream of her own. The creature caught her by the throat as she tried to saw him in half. It lifted her from her feet, smearing the blood of her Lucis on her neck as she struggled to pry its fingers open. With a snarl, it turned and threw her away. She crashed into something and let out a choked cough, and it was some time before they hit the ground. Rose pushed her off and stumbled forward to stand between her and the creature. Panting, bleeding then from her side, she had abandoned the guns and held naught but the thorns in her hand. When the creature leapt forward and swung the sword down at her head, Rose brought up the thorns and caught the blade in the cross she had made of them. Great lightning surged then, snapping at both the creature and the human. Beneath Rose's feet the ground cracked, her knees trembled. She let out a wordless shout and spat in the creature's face, and held him where he stood. Beyond the crackling of the lightning came a sound that only Kanaya seemed to notice. She turned and saw, clear with moonlight, a white cloud of dust drawing closer. As it grew closer, she recognized it, the throaty call of an engine at full power. The engine grew nearer as it became clear. It was a two-wheeled device, powered by an engine, speeding across the desert in a sleek black glory. Carried a rider, dressed in an immaculate red suit and black sunglasses. Dave Reader, you might want to get ready.
I'm ready.
In one pale hand was a broadsword covered in dancing green lines. When the rider came close enough, Kanai could see his white blonde hair whipping through the wind. The creature dodged back when she drove a chainsaw into its stomach, and came directly in the path of the swordman rider. Their swords clashed, and the creature was thrown back from the force of the blow. The wheel splat up dirt when the rider spun the device in a tight circle and came to a stop. A kickstand was snapped into place and the rider dismounted and put its sword on his shoulder. He adjusted his sunglasses on his nose and looked at Rose with a straight face.
Spiffy Rags got nowadays, sis.
He said.
A pleasure to see you too, brother.
She replied.
Excellent timing, as always.
Gotta save my blood relatives. Gotta save the... Gotta enslave the blood relatives, Jesus. Gotta save the blood relatives. Glad I got my iron through that freaking desert all night.
His head tilted down.
Who's a swanky dame?
Rose did not... Such a way with words. Rose did not look at Kanaya.
She got caught up in this, unfortunately.
This is set in the 20s, by the way, so that's why some of the language is the way it is.
Oh, I fully would just accept that.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. But it does use some, 1920s talk.
Rose did not look at Kanaya, eyes on the ground.
She got caught up in this, unfortunately.
He put one hand in his pocket and turned to the creature. It stood snarling, white eyes narrow.
Guess we best get her uncaught.
He reached inside his jacket and drew out a pistol.
Ain't gonna burn powder?
It hasn't been entirely effective.
How about that?
He returned the gun to its holster and lifted the sword from his shoulder.
All right. Let's knock the fluffer off the old-fashioned way.
She tightened her grip on the thorns.
Gladly.
The creature stared at them from time as they began to advance. Its snarling ceased and became laughter. The shore disappeared in a burst of lightning. Rose and the man both stared. It lifted its hands and began to laugh louder. They both began to run. I don't think that's the right tense.
They began to run, yeah. You read it as ran, but it says run.
I know that. I hate English so much. Weapons rising. In the end, they struck nothing. The creature had vanished in a crack of sound and green light. The man managed to stop himself, but Rose stumbled and hit the ground on hands and knees.
Hands and knees. Son of a bitch, dusted on us again.
The man said. She turned over to sit properly, putting a hand on her bloody side.
He never teleported away before, Dave.
She grimaced.
Only Beck did that.
He grunted.
So what's his grift?
If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say our little homunculus is evolving.
He made no sound of reply. He tossed his sword in the air and with a spin it vanished without a flourish. After a moment he held his hand out to Rose. When she took it, he pulled her to her feet. Though he opened his mouth to speak, gray hands grabbed his lapel and shook him furiously.
What the fuck did you bring here?
Karkat shouted.
What in Gog's name was that thing?
Dave lifted a brow over the barrier of his shades.
Get your fluffin' mitts off me, ragamuffin.
Can someone tap in? I need to use the restroom.
I'll do narrator then.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bladder of steel, guys. Still rolling with that.
Hey, to be fair, I managed to last through quite a bit.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm gonna be.
And that's with drinking a whole heck of a lot of water.
Yeah, I've got about 40 ounces waiting for me to devour. So
I'll be right back.
now, whenever I say that I down 40s every day, my kid's gonna be surprised that I haven't turned into a raging alcoholic.
Oh Jesus!
Just water.
All right. Karkat, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking tell me what the hell just killed my Lucis before I smash those stupid glasses into your eyes. That was Jack Noir.
Rose said quietly.
We created him by accident, and we've been tracking him.
She wiped at the blood on her chin and winced at the way her hand pulled at the wounds on her face.
I didn't expect him to come rampaging through a town like that.
Karkat let go of Dave to grab Rose's shirt and shake her even harder than her brother.
That grub fucker followed you here, witch bitch. You're the reason my Lucis is dead and my Moirail nearly got her head cut off.
She frowned and reached out to take hold of his shirt and shake him just as fiercely.
I did not mean for her to get dragged into this. I meant to leave without causing any trouble.
He shoved her away, throwing his hands in the air.
Hold on.
Dave.
Well, you really fucked that up.
Yeah, you're right.
Good job, witch bitch fake alchemist. You managed to get most of a whole town slaughtered in 10 minutes because you couldn't keep your alien ass the fuck out. Do you honestly believe I wanted to call Noir down on your heads?
She gestured at nothing, blood smeared on her palm.
I want to kill him. I have no reason to bring anyone unconnected to the matter into this fight.
Karkat stared at her, eyes suddenly recognized the color of the blood flowing from her wounds. He opened his mouth. He closed it. He swallowed and jabbed a finger in her face.
That's too fucking bad, because now you've dragged me into this. You tell me how to murder his ass before I get my sickles and go to town on yours.
Dave, taller than any of them, took hold of the back of his shirt, pulling him backward and hoisting him up so he stood awkwardly on his toes. He leaned close.
I'm back!
And Karkat could not see his eyes through the dark lenses.
I got a better idea, Bo. You break it up with my sis and close your fluffin' head, and I... and I won't be start playing the full orchestra of chin music on you.
What the shit are you saying?
Tap back in.
Okay, you want to go back in? All right, cool.
I have to refresh my page!
He tilted his head forward.
Every single time.
He tilted his head forward.
Thank you. He tilted his head forward and let the glasses slide down to the end of his nose. The irises were pure white. The irises were pure white with a bright bloody red, and Karkat stopped breathing at the sight of them.
I'm saying you shut that mouth full of saw teeth before I bust your jaw.
Dave, that's more than enough.
I'm reading a bit of pitch here, if you don't mind me. Rose said.
I mean, he's about to pitch his fist into Karkat's face, but go on.
Oh my god.
Wow.
We don't need to exacerbate his condition.
He jerked away from Dave, spinning to look at her.
My condition? Oh. Whose condition? The human condition?
It's Karkat.
It's Karkat.
Yeah, it's
Karkat.
Yeah. My condition? What the fuck are you talking about?
Ayo, Rose, it's your turn.
Oh, that's Rose. Jeez. Understand that I mean this with every ounce of sincerity I have.
She said.
I am sorry that your Lucis was killed. I truly am. But Noir cannot be defeated by anything but alchemy, and you are incapable of performing it. You have to leave him to us.
Karkat spat out laughter.
Yeah, leave him to you. I guess you human alien things just start spontaneously spraying blood everywhere when you're winning a fight.
He took a deep breath to continue, but stopped when a hand came down gently on his shoulder. He looked back and saw Kanaya. He slowly closed his mouth. She strode past him, moving to stand between him and the two humans. Though she met Dave's missing gaze at the moment, she looked at Rose. There were beginnings of scabs on her face, and she could spot two tiny pinpricks of wounds on her feet when she glanced down. The white shirt was perfectly ruined, the jeans irreversibly stained, and the first honest expression Kanaya had seen on her was setting miserably in her face. She was utterly contrite.
I apologize,
she said, returning her hand to her side, and Kanaya could see the red blood smeared on the thorns in her fingers.
If you'll allow me the small time I need to attend to my wounds, I'll be on my way.
Blinking once, Kanaya nodded in silence and tightened her grip on Karkat's shoulder when he made to rain down protest. Rose walked by them, picking her way through the detressing pools of slurred rainbow blood to return to the broken building Kanaya once called hers. After she had disappeared into the hostelry, Karkat gave a low growl and tried to follow. But Kanaya forced him to stand his ground and went in his stead. Dave did not try to stop her. The chainsaw had long died in her hand, and it was quiet that death had afforded her that she was able to enter without being noticed. Rose stood. I hate everything. Rose stood with her forehead pressed to that of a hoof beast. The white hair of its mane blended perfectly with its pale body, and Rose's hair matched well. She held the hoof beast's face with one hand, breathing slowly.
You're an incredible coward,
she said. The hoof beast snickered and pushed at her.
That was meant as a compliment.
She took her head back and reached to stroke the creature's mane.
If you didn't run away at the first sign of danger like you do, I'd have been less one horse before Noir even came along.
With a small sigh, she fiddled with one tall ear.
We have to start moving again. I'm sorry it's so soon.
So, you do intend to leave?
Rose turned, neither swiftly nor slowly, letting her head tilt against the beast's face when she saw Kanaya standing at the ruined entrance.
I apologize specifically for your inn, now. I'll get Maplehoof outside.
She took hold of the reins that hung from the hoof beast's neck, when her grip was pulled against. Maplehoof bucked slightly and pulled the reins from her hand, whinnying loudly. When Grey Hand snapped close to the remains, though, the hoof beast could not canter nor pull away free.
Calm down,
Kanaya murmured. She held the reins carefully, only giving enough slack to let the creature settle.
I wouldn't have thought you humans would be under the care of Eleusis, though I suppose it makes sense that you're having such a hard time controlling it.
Maplehoof isn't Eleusis.
Rose said.
She's just a horse.
That's a peculiar name for a hoof beast.
It isn't for a horse.
Kanaya sighed, shaking her head slightly.
Why did you come in here?
Rose asked.
I've told you more than once that I'm going to leave. I'm not going to linger.
How far, exactly, do you believe you'll be able to go?
Excuse me?
That wound in your side doesn't seem particularly dangerous, but you only managed to survive because the other human arrived.
That is an assumption. I can handle this on my own.
Forgetting for a moment that you are, in fact, an alien who can control science advanced enough to be mistaken for magic, You are bleeding a color that does not exist on the hemospectrum. My Morail bleeds the same color, and he has been running all his life to keep from being culled. Mine was the only safe place for him to heal when he's injured. Now that this monster has destroyed all of that, where do you think you're going to go?
I just said I can handle this on my own.
And I find myself severely doubting that.
Rose stared at her, eyes narrow, and eventually let out a long sigh.
What do you want?
It's far less about what I want than about what you happen to need, Miss Lalonde.
And?
I will be accompanying you from now on.
She held up her free hand at the sight of Rose's mouth falling open.
Karkat was correct. Willingly or not, you have entangled us in this problem of yours, and we have a personal stake in the matter. Your Jack Noir murdered my Lucis and destroyed my livelihood. Either I will see him die, or I will have a part in taking his life.
That doesn't say anything about what I need.
You need an ally who can easily obtain information. One who can help you move about without as much suspicion as you would garner alone. One who can distract attention from your alien nature and mutant blood.
She smiled by the way of a strained grimace.
Your flattery shines brighter than the stars themselves, Miss Merriam.
She stood her hand from her side and she took her hand from her side and turned the thorns about in her bloody fingers. A tap of lightning arc, and the flash faded to reveal white skin stretch anew across the divide. She repeated the process with the wounds on her face, wincing at the sparks. With no sleeves to speak of, she had nothing but her bare arms to try to wipe away the lingering blood. She coughed, eyes closing tight and dismissing the needles.
Well?
Seeing as how my alchemy only extends to repairing the immediate damage and cannot regenerate lost blood or wasted energy, I'd say you could very easily kill me where I stand.
And do you believe that I, a troll, will take advantage of that?
She hummed.
No, I suppose I don't.
Then tell me your answer.
All right.
She reached out her hand.
I accept your offer of alliance as begrudgingly as you give it, Miss Merriam.
Pausing, sighing quietly, she took her hand. Closing her eyes, she lifted Rose's hand and brushed her lips across the knuckles. When she lifted her head and found her eyes once more, she pressed her head gently forward. A pause came paired with blinking violet eyes, and the gesture was hesitantly returned. She felt warm breath on her hand, and held her gaze calmly when she looked up.
Accepted, Rose.
A very small smile.
Kanaya?
This was adorable.
Yeah, this has...
And it was like an hour long.
This has really, really good rosemary. It is also a fairly long fic.
Yeah. Yes. I have low phone battery and an empty stomach, so I'm gonna dip.
Okay, I think this is probably a good stopping point because we've been reading for 3 hours and we're down to the 3 regular ones, so y'all can read those next week.
Yeah. Okay.
This was fun.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys around. Thanks for coming to the stream.
Yeah.
No problem.
Was fun.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to write a comment on this.
This was so much fun. I'm so happy I got to use my Nepeta voice.
Yeah, your Nepeta is good. I'm just writing a comment on this fic, and then I'm going to stop this.
This was such a long Vic. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is
All
like
right,
one of the
see you tomorrow.
first fanfics I read. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you for helping to read. Yeah.
No problem at all.
Anyone that's still watching in the stream, thank you for listening. We do community live reads on the first Monday of every month. We will probably start doing them on the Will at Homestuck Twitch channel next month if Bucky and I can figure out the streaming thing. And Bucky and Clever do fanfic reads every Monday around at like 5 or 6 o'clock ish Mountain Time. I do fic reads on Sundays at 7 p.m. Central. Please check out everyone's social media that's listed here. We have a bunch of writers and artists in our community that make some really, really cool stuff. People that do voice acting, people that make games, all kinds of cool things. So again, thank you all for watching, and please tune in next Monday for the next Will at Homestuck read with Bucky and Clever. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hope you all have a nice evening.
See you guys.
Bye.